I already know I'm the greatest, and I'm keeping that in mind. That gold is coming straight back to me.
I can do anything because I'm built for it, I'm born for it. I'm here because I can do it.
All the hard work's paid off. We don't come to take part, we come to take over.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome along to day 7 and the final day of the first ever World Boxing Under-19 World Championships here in Colorado, USA. My name is Darren Rees, and as always, I'm joined by this man, a man with all the one-liners, all the jokes and all the knowledge, David Austin. And another voice which you will hear throughout this broadcast is our fantastic MC, Ryan Nico. Now, if this is the first time you're tuning into a World Boxing feed this week, you've missed out, because there has been some serious contests, hasn't it? And we're going to get into some of those in a moment. Yesterday was the first day of the finals, and the medal table looks or sounds a bit like this, because I haven't got a graphic to show you, but what I can tell you is the top 3 is England, who completely cleaned up yesterday. Out of the 5 potential gold medals, they won 5 of them. So they are at the top of the medal table with 5 golds and 1 bronze. Now, the theme of yesterday was England versus India. India, on their last attempt at trying, not against England, mind, ended up winning a gold medal, and it was a well-deserved gold medal too. So India currently stand with 1 gold, 5 silver, and 5 bronze. And then in 3rd place is the United States with 3 golds and 3 bronzes. So we kicked today off in a very similar way that we kicked yesterday off, and that is England versus India. So we will have Alice Pumphrey from England versus Nisha from India, and they will be battling out to win the gold medal in the women's 51 kilogram category. But I guess my first question to you, David, is it going to be an England win and their 6th gold medal, or is it going to be India's 2nd gold medal of these championships? What's your gut saying? Because you did pretty well yesterday.
I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if that's going to if that's what's going to happen. If India's going to get that 2nd gold medal, against England, I don't know. But I tell you what, I don't want to speak to what someone actually wants and desires and the level to which they do. But I will say this. After yesterday, I can only imagine that India really wants to get this one, maybe more than anything that they ever wanted, if we could say it like that. They didn't come to this tournament thinking that it was going to come down to this, but this is what it is right now, and we can talk about rivalries and things like that. We were talking about it off air. My Dodgers are the world champs right now, right? American baseball, and one of their so-called rivalries are the San Diego Padres, and it was a big deal to the Padres to have beaten the Dodgers. And last season, it was such a hype. They won more games against the Dodgers this year, and they want to proclaim themselves a rival of the Dodgers. There are no beat San Diego, beat Padre chants in LA because they don't view them as that. You haven't beat us enough to be our rival. So here comes the question. Right? But San Diego wants it more. They feel like they want it more. They didn't have the talent to do it necessarily, but they wanted it more. And I got to tell you, no one, I don't care what you say about it, no one wants to have another individual, another team, another whatever, to have that kind of advantage on you, to be able to say that they've bested you that many times. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I guarantee you India wants it more.
And here's a question for you. All of the teammates would have been here yesterday supporting their fellow fighters of their nation.
Right.
And they would have been around it. Those ones who are fighting today, is there more pressure on them to win today than it was on the fighters yesterday?
Well, I don't know if there is more pressure. That's something that you do to yourself. Right, the guy that can knock down the free throws, calmly, late in the 4th quarter of Game 7 is the guy who understands that it's the same free throw that he was taking in his driveway, right? And so pressure is something that you do to yourself. So that's going to be the question. Which of these teams, which of these individuals, are going to allow themselves to put that kind of pressure on themselves, thinking, okay, well, the amount of winning that my English teammates did yesterday, that now I have to do it too. Or if you're on a team like India saying, because we came up so short, in most of the bouts on yesterday, that now I have to win. And if you now turn it into a different free throw than the one that you've taken your entire life, then you run the risk of applying so much pressure to yourself that you now take yourself out of contention.
Now, you're a man who's been around boxing for a long time, and you must have watched thousands and thousands of fights, quite literally. Like, I'm not making those numbers up. And I've been around the sport a good amount of time as well. And one of the things that we banged on about yesterday was the incredible standard of what we were watching.
Right.
So for those people at home, and maybe those people who didn't tune in yesterday or throughout the week, what can they expect when they watch this afternoon or this evening, wherever they're watching in the world?
Well, first of all, shame on you if you weren't watching yesterday. Let me just say that. Let me get that out of the way. Shame on you if you were not watching this outstanding boxing on yesterday. And what you're going to get, and for those of you who did watch yesterday, I would say that you're going to actually see even better boxing than you did yesterday. And I'm not speaking on behalf of what I think the talent level or the skill level is of those individuals. I'm talking about the fact that they saw what we saw yesterday, and they want to perform just as much, even more so now than those boxers yesterday.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, with all of that said, and said fantastically, let's get away with the action and get over to our MC, Ryan Nico.
Boxing fans all over the world, welcome to the 2024 World Boxing Under-19 Championship Finals. We are live right here in Pueblo, Colorado, USA, where 25 countries have united to continue the legacy of boxing in the Olympic Games. Today, 10 bouts, 10 different weight categories for the men and the women. Time for World Boxing! Our first championship bout scheduled in the female 51-kilogram division. The judges from World Boxing, Mongolia, USA, Ireland, and Poland. The referee from Canada, Edward Blanchard. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from India, Nisha. In the blue corner, from England, Alice Humphrey.
Well, David, two very different ring walks there. Nisha from India ran to the ring.
Yes.
And Alice Pumphrey from England comes out, hands up,
Hands
Rocky
up.
Balboa style.
Yes, I
Two
saw
confident
that.
characters.
Two very confident characters, but a different look. And let me tell you, I'm a man who has 5 older brothers. You know how long it takes to get a win when you have 5 older brothers. So let me tell you, you talk about wanting it, right? India wants it right there.
With the body language and the urgency to get to the ring, and not only by Nisha herself, but the team as well. I think they were just trying to catch up with her, to tell you the truth. But here we go then, England versus India once again. They gave us some fantastic action yesterday, some great boxing, some technically superb stuff that we were in awe of here at ringside at our commentary position, and I have been excited for this all day. So the referee will bring the two boxes together, and we will get straight back to what we were doing yesterday.
Absolutely.
What a
Straight
privilege.
back to England versus India. Straight back to it. Think about the amount of conversations that took place between the end of action yesterday and this morning about boxing against India and about boxing against India.
It must have been non-stop, and Nisha from India is straight on that front foot, but Pumphrey doesn't take too long to get straight to action herself and throws a barrage of punches as both of them find themselves in the corner on the ropes, just going for it straight away. They know how to get a party started.
This is what I expected, right? I mean, you knew coming into the second day of championships and starting the day off with England versus India, what we saw on yesterday, you knew there would be no feeling out process in this battle.
That rivalry is getting there, isn't it? It's certainly getting there, even though it's all very good sportsmanship throughout, especially on this side of it, the respect which is shown by everybody involved, but both fighters showing a consistent level of punching and movement and action at all times. And already in the first minute of this opening round, this has become a pretty tough fight to score.
You know, I was thinking that exact same thing as you were saying that, and I think that bodes well, you know, for India and Nisha.
Well, both fighters will kind of take a step back, have a look at each other, and you think, oh, maybe they're just going to feel each other out a little bit here, and we see a jab and a bit of moving. But no, they don't do that, these two. You get 4 or 5 punches each, and they come together, and there's an explosion of shots. But whether they'll be able to keep up the pace, keep up the consistency throughout the 3 rounds will be another thing, because we saw in quite a few fights yesterday that by the time it got to the 3rd round, there was some open mouth breathing happening, and that was for sure.
Well, you know, again, we talked about it, you know, in the opening about the pressure and the stress, and that's one of the things you can do. You can burn through your energy reserves, you know, by being stressful, allowing yourself to feel pressure, and you can certainly do a lot less than you are physically capable of when you put yourself in that position.
Well, let's see what these two do as we go into the last 45 seconds of this opening round in the first ever World Boxing Under-19 World Championships. Yesterday, Ruby White became the first ever gold medalist, world champion under the organisation. And her teammate Alice Pumphrey is in there trying to get the first gold of the day. But Nisha is making sure that she's the person who gets it.
She's doing her best. And I like the pressure that Pumphrey is applying to Nisha.
I feel that when we hear that sound to symbolise that this round is over and the judges' scores come up, because it is open scoring, that we're going to get a bit of a mixed bag here. I'll be quite surprised if it's a complete shutout.
You know, I would agree with you there, and that's one of the great things that I love about amateur boxing, you know, that we have things like open scoring where you know where you stand, and there's that mixed bag that you were talking about. 3 of the 5 judges at ringside award that first round to the blue corner, and Pumphrey representing England, and then the other 2 obviously for Nisha representing India. And so both boxers did things that they can be proud of, did things that they can build on. Now the question is, what adjustments do you make? What things do you continue to do? Because you don't want to change too much if you're either boxer, because you're doing things that clearly some of the judges at ringside really appreciate. So there's that balance there with some changes and keeping some things the same. And therein lies the question, what are they going to be able to do to make that happen? But that's not a bad problem to have going into the second round ahead on a couple of the cards.
It's certainly not a bad problem to have. And looking at both of their faces in the corner there, they were both listening intensely to every single word which their corner were giving them, and they're going to try and put those words into action, because winning something at these championships will mean so much. But a bit of a pause before we get going in the opening in the second round.
Right. A little bit of housekeeping, a little extra, you know, water in the corner. You don't want anyone to slip. But before that, did you see how far Nisha came out of that corner before the bell had to be sent back to the corner by the official? She wants this. She is
up for it. She is up for it, and as is Alice Pumphrey, who is just marching forward. But she's got a pressure fighter on her hands, and every time that she's going forward, she is getting pushed back. But she's doing some good work in terms of changing the angles and then going again and doing what she needs to do to catch the judges' eyes. And that's what this is about, is making them aware that whoever it is, that they're doing the better work. They're doing the work which needs to be awarded the points for, to be awarded the round for. But in goes Pumphrey with a big lunge in right hand, which was just blocked by the left glove of Nisha from India.
Nisha did something that I really liked a moment ago, where she threw a right hand while stepping back, catching Pumphrey coming forward, and you can tell that's definitely something that they talked about in the corner between rounds.
I always like it when they come out the corner and you can instantly see what they've been told to do, and they're doing it, because the game plan can change quite a bit, especially in this style of boxing where they don't know much about their opponents and they might have only met them that week. But these two are consistent with their energy levels, and we've got exactly the same pace as what we did in the opening round.
Well, I'll tell you another thing that'll change your game plan is having an Alice Pumphrey, you know, just charging forward and applying constant pressure, staying on your chest, trying to get to your chin. You know, that'll change a lot of things that you wanted to do.
She's like a ball that's seen red, is Alice Pumphrey. She just goes for it. Like no fear whatsoever, no second thoughts, just marches forward like she did there, and landed a good right hand on the head guard of Nisha from India. But Nisha got herself out of trouble, but she is finding herself more and more on the ropes as this round goes by and we go into the last 50 seconds.
We see a bit of a complaint, you know, to the official by Nisha about the grabbing and the pushing, and then subsequently a warning by the official to Pumphrey. So that may bode well for Nisha for the remaining half minute of this round.
And Pumphrey did walk into a straight right hand there as she was making her entry, but then proceeded with 3 or 4 shots of her own before the two of them come together again. But I'm impressed by the consistency of both of them. In my opinion, as we go into the last 20 to 15 seconds of this round, I feel like Pumphrey's probably done just enough to maybe win it, but we'll see what the judges say when it comes to the break time, because boxing is a subjective sport.
Absolutely, and I think we're going to see another mixed bag. I would be surprised again if we see either boxer get the unanimous nod on each of the 5 cards. now both boxers make their way to their respective corners. We'll see the scores here in just a second. You know, again, a bit of a mixed bag. As you see, 2 of the judges at ringside award the round to the red corner, Anisha and that team from India. The other 3 award the round to Pumphrey, you know, out of the blue corner representing England. And interestingly enough, the 2 judges that gave the first round to Nisha aren't the same 2 judges that gave her the second round. So, I mean, if you are in either of those corners, you have to really be careful about the way you box this third round. And we already know, just from what we've seen in the first two rounds, that Pumphrey she's going to let it all hang out.
This is a close fight and a well-matched fight, isn't it? We had some bouts yesterday which were a bit scrappy and untidy, and that's not because of the level of ability. That's just because styles make fights, and these 2 styles are making a good fight.
They absolutely are, and I can imagine what we're going to see here. You see Pumphrey already, you know, about out of the corner as we get a little more housekeeping done here, you know, in the red corner. Again, the excess water that's getting mopped up. You don't want someone to slip and damage a knee or anything like that, but we'll get back to it.
And back to it we are, and it goes in straight the same direction as it did in the first and the second round. Is that these 2 just keep coming together, and they just throw such fast and vicious shots at each other. And the mouthpiece of Nisha has come out, so again we have another pause. The fighters won't like this. They won't like this unless they're exhausted beyond belief. They won't like this.
Well, you know, and that makes me a little bit nervous if I'm Team India, because we knew that Pumphrey was going to come out and be aggressive. And what she does, she comes right out, she starts throwing punches and immediately dislodges that mouthpiece. So it doesn't look like in that initial moment that Nisha was ready for the aggression of Pumphrey as we started this third round.
No, she wasn't. And I'll tell you one thing which has landed a couple of times just while you were summing that up for us is Alice Pumphrey was just dipping down on her right leg and just throwing a mean, unforgiving right hand to the head guard of Nisha, and she's really going for it now. She knows this is the third round. She can almost vividly see that gold medal being put round her neck, but by no means is it a guarantee, because there's still 2 minutes left and she cannot afford to slip up, and Nisha is still completely and utterly going for it herself.
All right, and now you see the warning for the holding, you know, talking to Nisha, but before that in the corner you saw the forearm of Pumphrey pushing on the chin and the head back of Nisha. Nisha seemed to be waiting for the official to step in, and he never does, and it really put her in a bad way.
These are the moments when the boxers need to just keep their heads on, keep themselves switched on, and always a point being taken away there.
And yes,
Nisha, wow.
Losing a point for holding. The one thing that she desperately did not need to happen here in this third round.
But that will give Pumphrey the confidence if she needed any. And just look at her go. She's like a terrier dog, just absolutely flying at Nisha from India, just throwing barrages of shots. And there was some good body work there. She just dipped down on her left leg and let her left hook go to the body, straight to the ribs.
What I like before that is that she stepped up and threw a straight right hand that you can see really moved the chin of Nisha before she stepped inside and threw that left to the body. And she's firing on all cylinders right now.
She really is, and that was a solid right hand which landed by the woman from England. And the legs just ever so slightly buckled of Nisha from India. Maybe she just caught her off balance a little bit, but it was a good shot. But Nisha comes back and fires a 1-2 out, which is just ever so slightly out of range. And here comes Pumphrey again as she stalks her in the last 15 seconds of this fight, and she could possibly be, or very likely to be, the 51-kilogram gold medalist.
Well, I definitely think that she will be when we see the final scores here in this contest, and it'll be due in large part to those straight right hands that she started landing, you know, with impunity, you know, as this bout went on.
One of the things that people have always got to remember with boxing is one punch can change it all, and we've seen it over and over again, haven't we, over the years, where a boxer is doing so well, and that's why they need to remain switched on and be doing all the good stuff that they've done previously until they hear that final bell.
You're absolutely right about that. And as we see Pumphrey in that corner, as we see the gloves being removed, Team England feeling pretty good about where they are, not just in this contest right now, but where they are overall in this tournament. You talked about the medal count before the day began, and it looks like England is going to add another gold medal to that count. And here we go.
Championship bout 1, the winner on points by split decision. In the blue corner from England, Alice Pumphrey.
Well, gold medal number 6 for England, and Alice Pumphrey is the one who wins it for her nation. She boxed very well indeed. The point at the end didn't help Nisha from India, that's for sure, but Pumphrey, look at her, she's loving this, isn't she?
She absolutely is.
What a special time for her to be out here boxing overseas and winning a gold medal and going back to the changing room saying, we've just got another win over India. And India are going to have to come out even stronger and even more determined when they're next out.
Well, and they're going to get multiple opportunities to do that because India, you know, as we can see, 5 more opportunities at gold before the day ends, which is just those numbers are just unfathomable. It's so impressive what they've done here in this tournament, the number of boxers that they were able to bring, the number of boxers that are still in action here on the final 2 days of this tournament. It just cannot be ignored. Maybe not getting the results that they would have preferred, you know, here in these finals, but you cannot deny that their performance in this tournament up to this point has been anything short of impressive.
It's been extremely impressive, and it's really nice to see, looking around here at the convention centre, the place is really starting to fill up.
Yes.
Kilogram division. The judges from Brazil, Canada, Sri Lanka, Chinese Taipei, and Italy. The referee from Lithuania, Gitaris Shushta. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from USA, Emmanuel Chan.
That's a pretty serious face right there, Darren.
That's another man who means business.
In the blue corner, from Japan, Uma Kumamoto.
Kumamoto looks every bit of a boxer, doesn't he?
He absolutely does.
His style, the way that he's walking, just his body shape, he looks... If you were going to guess which sport he was in, you'd definitely say boxing.
Definitely say boxing. And I like the reception from the supporters that are in the arena here for him as he walked by. I love the fist pump, you know, toward the crowd. But I like the look on Emmanuel Chan's face. And I'm going to take this opportunity to apologize to Emmanuel because I had a chance to talk about him before any of the stuff. You know, he's going to give me a hard time about it.
Well, it's also been great to see the Japanese support. They've been here all week.
Yes.
Flying their flags everywhere, making lots and lots of noise. And I'm sure you'll hear plenty more of that when the action gets underway. But 2 very well-matched fighters again.
Right, they are, and you talk about, you know, the pressure, you know, in these moments and how much of it there is, and you think about the opportunity for Kumamoto, you know, to get a goal for Japan, you know, in this moment, right, which would be there first. And how about in that other corner where you have Emmanuel Chan, you know, representing Team USA, 3 American boxers boxed on yesterday, 4 gold, all 3, 1 gold. How much pressure does that put on Emmanuel, self-imposed or otherwise, to go out there and win gold as well? It does, and USA boxing at home as well, so another aspect of the importance of it. But here we go, the action is underway, and Emmanuel Chan in that southpaw stance. He's quick with that jab and stabs to the body. But he's certainly got an opponent on his hands who knows what he's doing in Kumamoto. You saw the response from the crowd for that left hand from Kumamoto, and Chance has got to be careful with that. The Chance is just
eyeing his man up, and that was a really good lead hook, and I didn't even see what followed. It was too quick for me to catch it, to tell you the truth, but he's got some seriously rapid hands, and at the moment the theme of this fight is Emmanuel Chance is on the front foot and Kumamoto is on the back foot, but that might be the way that he likes to box. But Kumamoto's got to be careful of that whipping, that super fast, that vicious lead hook which Emmanuel Chance throws, because it comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
It does, and I was just about to say something, and before I could, I was going to talk about where Emmanuel Chance is carrying his hands, and I didn't like how low they were, but before I could say that, Kumamoto steps up and lands a combination, and Chance is doing just that. He's taking chances with a boxer who is here, who knows what he's doing, and he may want to be careful.
With Chance just stalking his man, following him around the ring, trying to cut that ring off and not give him the space which he would want and need. But Kumamoto just bouncing in and out, light on those toes. He needs to try and gauge that distance, but whether he'll be able to maintain a safe enough distance and get those shots off whilst boxing on the back foot, I'm not sure. But he did get through with a straight left hand, but it was countered immediately by Emmanuel Chance with another hook which landed on the head guard of the man from Japan.
You know, Chance needs to understand that Kumamoto is doing a pretty good job right now of counter-punching. He's waiting and expecting, and that left hand of Kumamoto is a pretty nice weapon over that southpaw jab coming from Chance. Kumamoto has a height and reach advantage, and that's not a bad thing to have when you're in there with a guy who has to get close. He has hand speed, but Chance has to get close enough to throw those punches, and Kumamoto is doing a nice job of keeping his distance, forcing Chance to do something before he throws that punch. He has to step forward, he has to lean, he has to lunge, he has to do something first, and that is what is allowing Kumamoto to have the success that he's having right now.
Bingo, you've absolutely nailed that, and I feel that Kumamoto is just starting to get into his groove a little bit there, and confidence is growing with the man from Japan, and Emmanuel Chance still doing plenty of good work. That jab to the body, that southpaw jab to the body is working well. But these two are quick in everything which they do, not just throwing their hands, but the way that they move their bodies, they slip, they bob, they weave, the way that they do their footwork. They are two very fast fighters, and let's see what the judges say about that opening round.
Well, you see what the judges have to say. 4 of the 5 judges at ringside give that first round to the blue corner and Team Japan in the form of Kumamoto, and I agree with that assessment. One of the judges at ringside giving it to Chance. I thought Kumamoto did a nice job of counterpunching, and again, he knows that Chance has the speed advantage, but Kumamoto has the height and reach advantage, and so by maintaining that distance, he's forcing Chance to have to step or to lean or to lunge before he throws a punch, and in doing so, it is balancing out and negating to a large degree the speed advantage of Chance. And if Kumamoto is able to keep that distance and to continue to force Chance to have to make some sort of move first, this is going to be a long bout for that red corner.
It could well be. And here we go. Round 2 of a fight scheduled for 3 like all of these bouts. And Chance straight on that front foot again and smothering his man Kumamoto from Japan.
And the big difference in the way that this round started, right there you saw Chance, he didn't try to throw from the outside. He got all the way in, and now we get our first takedown of the day, ladies and gentlemen. But you see Chance, he got all the way inside and wanted to box on the interior instead of on the outside like he tried to do when the bout began, and clearly they've already made that adjustment in that red corner between rounds.
Yeah, I imagine that's exactly what the information was which Emmanuel Chance was given, and we'll see how he can pull it off or not. And Kumamoto is doing a marvellous job of just maintaining that wide, strong stance, because he's aware that those shots can come out of nowhere, and he doesn't want to get caught and end up on his backside on the canvas, that's for sure. And the fight which Kumamoto clearly wants to fight is one at distance, and the fight which Emmanuel Chance wants to fight certainly isn't that. And let's see if he can get in. Let's see if he can corner his man, get him on the ropes. But can he keep him there long enough, David, do you think?
Well, and that's the question. Kumamoto, you can see, you look at him physically, he's someone who clearly, takes his training seriously. So this is a young man, if you just look at him, he doesn't look like someone who's just going to run out of gas. that type of thing. So Chance is going to have to box the entire 9 minutes of this contest, and he's going to have to do so smartly and maybe be a little bit more patient and get inside. Like right there, he didn't throw anything from the outside. He waited, got close, and let his hands go, and I think that's what's going to serve him well if he's going to get this bout.
He did, and Kumamoto looks like all of a sudden he's having a very good time in there. His confidence has gone up, and I don't believe Emmanuel Chance has run out of ideas by any stretch of the imagination, but he's going to have to really go for it and get inside, because with 1 minute to go, in my humble opinion, I think the judges are probably going to give it to the blue corner again, because Kumamoto's just done that better work in this round, and it's been cleaner and crisper.
Well, it's the distance that he's maintaining, and you see, Jeb,
he's maintaining that distance so well, isn't he?
He has. Even on the jab, when you look at Chance, when he jab, you see there's a bit of a lean at the end of his jab. He's not just throwing it from the shoulder because he's a little bit out of range, but unfortunately, he's in range for Kumamoto when he's there.
Well, with 25 seconds to go, I think the pace which these two have been working at, that minute's rest will be most welcome. Emmanuel Chance just has a look at his man and tries to think of a way in, and Komoto doing exactly the same thing, light on those toes, super slick and fast, bouncing in and out, popping that jab out, which is working well. And we have, it's been a good fight. It has been a clean fight mostly, but we have had a bit of wrestling as well, haven't we?
A little bit, and that's one of the things I also believe is serving Kumamoto well as you look at the scores. 5-0 shutout in that second round, and one of the things that's working for Kumamoto is the fact that he's willing to get a little rough and tumble with Emmanuel Chance, in this bout. Once Chance gets inside, he's tying him up, he's wrestling with him, he's not allowing Chance to do the things that will benefit him once he gets inside, and I like that about what Kumamoto is doing. Congratulations to him. I got to tip my hat to him. He's doing the things that you need to do when you're in there with a guy who is as slick as Chance, who is as fast as Chance, and he's also fighting from the southpaw stand. So you're going to have to muddy it up a little bit, and he's doing that, and hey, I think he's doing a good job.
And it's interesting the way that this fight has played out, because in the opening minute, Emmanuel Chance looked like he was in control.
Right.
And he was overwhelming Kumamoto, but
right.
It didn't take him long to adapt, did it? And
Not
adaptability is a big thing. Let's see how both fighters perform in this round as we go into the last 2 minutes 45 seconds, and one of them will be crowned gold, one of them will be crowned silver. Chance is not mucking around, and I think he didn't get the instruction to box on, and that's what the referee's just having a quiet word of him about.
Well, you see Chance immediately complaining to the official that Kumamoto wasn't engaging. And so as the official is reminding Kumamoto why we're here, Emmanuel decided that he would go ahead and crack on.
Crack it. There we go. You'll hear some American stuff from me, and you're going to hear some British stuff from David, because that's the way it's working. Meat and potatoes.
Good left hand by Chance, maybe his best punch of the bout right there, as Kumamoto found himself along the ropes.
Chance looks like he's just getting a bit frustrated now. He's doing everything. He's chucking everything, the kitchen sink and every other item at Kumamoto, and it doesn't seem to be proving enough, because the slick skills and that control of distance, that gauging, which the man from Japan has put together, is working nicely for him.
It is, and you saw one of the things that really tells you how this bout is going. You saw the left hand, the left hook that Chance threw at the end of that last exchange that didn't touch Kumamoto, and it's not. And when you think about the speed difference between the two, that's not how. It wasn't Kumamoto's speed that made Emmanuel Chance miss. It's because Chance was never close enough in the first place.
With a big, horrible lead hook from that southpaw stance from Chance, and he has not given up in any way, shape or form, as he just continues in the same direction which he had for the two previous rounds as we go into the last minute, and that is forward, and I believe he will continue just going forward. And Kumamoto with those long straight shots from distance, just trying to keep his man at bay, and he must sense that in the next 45 seconds he could be crowned Japan's first gold medalist. What an achievement it will be for him, and for all the people watching at home in Japan, everybody who's followed his journey and his career so far, even though that they're young fighters and they've got a long way to go, this is a massive step in their journey.
It is, and Kumamoto boxing from the southpaw stance as well in this bout, just doing a masterful job of maintaining the distance that he needs to be effective. And when Chance gets close, he grabs him, he ties him up, he makes it ugly, makes it dirty, and then like there it is right there. Chance gets close enough to do what he wants to do. Kumamoto does the smart thing and grab it and tie him up.
Well, Kumamoto boxed a very clever fight, and Emmanuel Chance will probably be a bit frustrated. I don't think he needs to be frustrated with himself necessarily. I just feel that he come up against a style and somebody who was very good at that style and very good at what he needed to do, and he made it extremely tough for Emmanuel Chance to make an entrance and land shots. In the opening moments of the first round, it looked like it was going to be a washout for Chance. But Kumamoto is a seriously good boxer and another one to keep an eye on, like many of the boxers which we've seen here.
Well, that's what it's about, right? That's part of it, right? We've said it. We've used the phrase multiple times throughout the broadcast of the past. Yesterday and today, we talk about the passing of the torch. You know, these countries are looking to identify their next, stars in the international competition. This is part of it.
In the blue corner from Japan, Kumamoto.
Unanimous decision there, Darren. What do you think about that one?
Unanimous decision, a clear and comfortable win for Kumamoto. I think that's for certain. He did everything which he needed to do, and he did it very well indeed. And Japan have got their first gold medalist. And I said it yesterday, I just love the respect which you see at this type of boxing, this amateur Olympic style of boxing. You don't see this in the pro ranks. I love that there's just a lot of admiration for each other, for the corners, for the judges, for the referee. Everyone's in this together, aren't they? And it's all about moving the sport forward. And that is the right way in moving the sport forward.
Well, you use the right word, and that's respect, right? We can compete all day long, but as long as we have respect for one another, there are no issues. You saw the look on Emmanuel Chance's face. That look had nothing to do with Kumamoto. That was an introspective look. He's like, I can be better. I will be better. He's thinking, man, if I had a little more time. All those things that are running through his mind right now. But at the end of the day, it comes down to him coming to this tournament, winning a silver medal, but at the same time understanding that there are things to do to get better, and he'll do those things. Emmanuel Chance is a great young boxer and a good kid, and this is far from the last time you'll see Emmanuel Chance.
The judges from Lithuania, Japan, Poland, USA, and Chinese Taipei. The referee from Canada, Jennifer Huggins. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from India, top two, Supriya Devi. In the blue corner, from England, Caitlin Wise.
Well, can you believe it, David? Another England versus India final. This is getting quite ridiculous, isn't it?
I feel like there's some sort of legislation that says that there has to be an England versus India bout, every so often. I tell you, it speaks so much to the coaching for both of these countries. Every now and then you'll see, in international competition, you'll see a country that has a coach, from a different country, and this is how that happens. Let's not think that the world isn't paying attention and taking notice. That there's a reason why these boxers, why there's so many boxers from England here in the finals, so many boxers from India here in the finals. Coaching, that's exactly why. Obviously, the boxers have to put in the work, but you have to know which way to run. You have to know how to train. You have to know how to do these things. That only happens with quality coaching, and being in the finals so many times only happens with quality coaching.
And you can see it when you're around these people on these big competition weeks. The passion, the knowledge, the enthusiasm, which comes from the coaches as well. And they're second to none. And that's exactly why we've had so many of these. But here we go. Tokchom from India versus Wise from England. Wise in the blue, Tokchom in the red. And I watched both of their previous fights from just a few feet away, and I'm looking forward to this because you would have already told that Caitlin Wise is very tall for the weight,
yes,
at 54 kilograms, and she is a very good counter puncher, where Tokchom is a pressure fighter and she likes to get in on the inside. So this is going to be interesting, but that was a really good straight right hand from Wise, and look at these two go at it straight away. We've not even had 30 seconds yet.
No, we're not. And I tell you what I like best in that exchange. I like Tokchom getting inside, and she landed that big left hand upstairs a couple of times. Caitlin Wise is going to have her hands full trying to keep Tokchom out of the front yard because she is definitely coming in.
She is, but those big long arms of Caitlin Wise have got. They are the ammo which she needs. They are the tool which she needs to win this and potentially win England's 7th gold. And it's all going to be about keeping Tokchom from India away. Straight shots galore, scoring those points, keeping her at distance. And that is what she's doing at the moment. Is this fight just takes a little bit of a slower pace. But here comes Tokchom. She must have heard me because all of a sudden she's really going for it, chucking every shot which she's got in the locker.
And see, this is what we're talking about when we talk about the distance and maintaining it. Tokchom is doing a nice job of getting inside that jab of Wise and then letting her hands go and making Wise pay for letting her in. I talked about keeping in the front yard. She's on the porch now.
I told you, he's got all the one-liners. And here we go. And you can just sense that Tokchom's going to come flying at Caitlin Wise at any moment. But has she got the skills to pay the bills and keep her away? But Caitlin Wise got caught 2 or 3 times there with a straight left hand from Tokchom.
She does, but I tell you what, we talked about it, you know, in a pre-show, in our preview, and about that straight right hand of Caitlin Wise, that shotgun manner in which she just keeps it cocked and fires it straight. And from that height and from that distance, it's such a weapon when she gets it off. And she has in this contest already. We'll see if she can continue to do so and if that deters Tokchom from coming forward.
And nice and light on the toes is Caitlin Wise, with her eyes on the prize, just making sure that she is not going to make any mistakes. And that was a good right hand as she just took a step back from Wise. And Tokchom just looks like she's just keeping that jab busy, keeping Wise thinking as she's planning her next entrance, where she will do what we've seen her do so many times before, and that is throw 5, 6, 7 shots. And that was a slip more than it was anything.
It was. But what I like about that is you see for Tokchom, the swings and misses for her are very few. She's making sure that she's close enough to do what she wants to do, so you don't see the swings and misses. It's very smart for her to get inside and do it the way she's doing.
But the second this goes, it will go straight to the minute's rest. And looking at the height advantage and the way that Caitlin Wise throws her shots, she must generate some power in those arms.
She definitely does, and you see that mixed bag. There it is right there. 3 of the 5 judges at ringside award that first round to the blue corner, you know, and Caitlin Wise, you know, liking that jab and that, again, that shotgun right hand, which is great. But Tokchom did some really good things in that in this contest so far in that first round, getting inside, throwing those big punches upstairs, getting to the head of Caitlin Wise. You know, it's like what we talked about. The styles make fights, and the contrast in styles between these two is definitely showing up, and it's making it interesting and making it fun.
It is. It's been a good opening round. It's an interesting one. You don't know what's going to happen at any moment or at any time in this bout. And I wonder what the England corner have told Caitlin Wise there, and I'm going to imagine that they've said more of the same. Don't let her in. Don't let her anywhere near you. And then, of course, Team India must have said, just break and enter.
Right.
And Caitlin Wise on that back foot, just keeping that lead hand busy, keeping Tokchom guessing at all times. And that's what all the good boxers do, is not only do they make you work physically, but they make you work mentally as well. And that can be a tiring process.
Absolutely, but I like that left hand, you know, of Caitlin Wise. She threw a nice hook there. I think it kind of surprised Thuc Chum. She hadn't unwrapped that gift, you know, to this point, and so throwing it for the first time almost in this contest, she got some good usage out of it.
And this is exactly what we expected to happen, which is Thuc Chum trying to get in close and fight on the inside, fight in the pocket, and Caitlin Wise just with those long arms trying to keep her away. And what Thuc Chum did there was nice. She kind of slipped on the way in, and she knew that Wise was going to throw that straight shot, and it missed her, and she landed in the right place but didn't get the opportunity to get to work. But definitely the pace of this round has slowed down, but that was a good overhand left from Thuc Chum.
Well, she did the same thing that she did a moment ago that you were talking about. She gave Caitlin Wise a bit of a feint and then threw the left hand, and it got home. Not a bad idea if you are Thuc Chum.
That's good distance control from Caitlin Wise. 3 or 4 shots came from the woman from India, Thuc Chum, and all 3 of them missed because of the good footwork and keeping her at range, gauging that distance. And here comes Wise with a combination of shots.
You know, one of the things that's missing from the efforts of Thuc Chum is body work. And I would love to see her, when she gets a little closer, go to the body, you know, with that left hand instead of always trying to go to the head like she does right there. You know, Caitlin Wise's torso is a lot closer to Thuc Chum than her head. And so if she gets to that body, she'll bring that head down. And so I think she's wasting a few opportunities as this bout goes on by continuing to go almost exclusively to the head with that left hand.
It's a good point, and Thuc Chum has done a lot of head hunting there, and you're right in the fact that she should go for that body a lot more, because it's still good work. You can still land clean, effective shots. But she continues to go for that head. Not that she hasn't thrown anything to the body, but she could probably throw a bit more, as Caitlin Wise throws a good right hand, is light on her toes, and that was a nice uppercut straight up the middle from Wise from England.
And again, Thuc Chum scoring to the head of Caitlin Wise, but she can't trade shots. She's down on the cards coming into this round. You just don't want to trade with her unless you just have that type of power where you expect them to stop her. Other than that, you're going to have to hit and not get hit a little bit more if you're going to balance this out. And so there you see 4 of the 5 judges at ringside give that second round to Caitlin Wise, and I can't disagree with what they're seeing.
I can't either. I feel that she did the cleaner and crisper work once again, and she's been patient as well. Patience is probably a good way of describing it. Is she's not getting carried away. She's letting Thuc Chum come in and enter, and then as she comes in, she catches her with a straight 1-2 or a lead hook. And she also, for a tall fighter, she throws a good uppercut as well.
Well, you know, she's got a nice mixed bag, you know, of weapons that she's using against Thuc Chum, and so you see that on display for Caitlin Wise. But for Thuc Chum, you know, her options are somewhat limited because of that height and reach disadvantage. And also you have to remember, this is amateur boxing. You only have 3 rounds. You can't waste rounds. You can't take time off. So she's got to crank up the pressure right now.
Yeah, there's no time to necessarily settle into these type of bouts, because like you say, you've got 3 rounds to show the judges that you are worthy of that round, and the rounds add up and the points add up, and then ultimately somebody goes away with one of the other medals. But Wise holding on to the centre of the ring there, she just threw 3 or 4 straight shots, and Thuc Chum switching stance there from southpaw to orthodox and looking to try a few different things out as she gets in. But that was a good overhand right which landed on the head guard of Caitlin Wise.
It did, and so that's not a bad idea, but you still need to mix in some body work in that, because, you know, the farthest thing from Thuc Chum is Caitlin Wise's chin. So let's get to those parts that are closer, and that'll bring the head down and closer to her as well. And so the head hunting is actually playing into the hands of Caitlin Wise, and it allows her to counter, you know, with that left hand.
It does, and the exact moment you said that, Caitlin Wise countered with a beautiful jab, and then just with her right foot just pivoted off and changed the angle, and Thuc Chum just was was throwing shots at a target which wasn't there, and that's more of what she needs to do as we go into the last half of the final round. And Caitlin Wise looks like she's on her way to winning gold medal number 7 for England.
Well, I tell you what, I certainly wouldn't try to speak to what's going on inside the head or the heart of anyone in the ring, but you can see that for Thukchum, you know, that forward motion has slowed greatly here in this third round. And I don't want to say, you know, what she's thinking, but, you know, we may be looking at one of those moments where we're okay with that silver medal.
Well, Thukchum just throwing a big looping right hook over the top from her southpaw stance, which just grazed the chin of Caitlin Wise, but didn't bother her in any way. And she throws exactly the same shot again. And Wise probably wants to think about keeping that distance or keeping that left hand a little bit higher. I know that's not necessarily her style. And there it goes again. 3 times that's happened. 3 times it hasn't landed. Thukchum needs to come up with a new plan, because she's got 30 seconds to try and turn this around, and as we've discussed many times, I don't believe it's going to be enough. But there was 2 good shots which came from the woman from India.
2 very good shots, but again, you know, the effort, the coming forward, you know, the pressure that she has been applying, you know, throughout this bout has slowed greatly here in this third round, and that's not going to be enough in order to get this victory out of the hands of England and Caitlin Wise.
Well, last couple of seconds then, Caitlin Wise must sense it, and that is the sound to end this bout in the women's under-19s 54 kilogram category. And when Caitlin Wise booked her ticket to the final, she was just a metre away from me, and the smile on her face and the realisation that she had won that fight and she was going to be fighting in the final was really lovely to see. And she hugged both of her coaches, who are the same coaches who are in the corner now. And it was a real special moment to watch. Now, let's see what she looks like in a minute.
And just for you know, all of my, you know, people who are watching here from the U.S., you know, he said he was about a little more than 3 feet away from, by the way. You know, we're not on the metric system over here. You know,
Very good.
We don't have Royales with cheese over here. Look at the emotion on the face of Caitlin Wise. Ah, you gotta love that.
Well, the other day I was 3 feet away. We'll go to feet and inches. Today I'm about 12 feet away, and the smile on Caitlin Wise's face is a good one. It's a big one. And I'm sure there's many of you watching at home in England who couldn't be prouder. And look at her just embracing her coach there. She's done it. She is the under-19 women's 54 kilogram world boxing world champion.
Wow. How many is that?
7. 7 golds.
My goodness.
That's a lot of gold medals for England.
That is a lot of gold medals. I mean, and it's also a lot of silver medals, just medals period, you know, for both of these countries. But when you can say that you have 7 gold medals in a tournament of any type, I mean, there's, and we talked about it before, there is no metric that you can apply to this situation that doesn't make that a gargantuan number, and they're not done. That is something to think about. You know, that is not the last boxer from England that will get in the ring before the day is done. So there is an opportunity to collect a 9th gold medal.
An 8th gold medal. A 9th would be nice.
Well, I'm saying there's an opportunity for the 9th coming, you know, later on in the day. And so just to think about that, to put that in perspective, I mean, what can you say about it? You know, dominant is one of the words that comes to mind, you know, when you think about when you just start to add that up and compare it to things that we've seen in the past. It's pretty impressive, you know, what England is doing in this tournament.
Very impressive.
The judges from India, World Boxing, Ireland, Canada, and Lithuania. The referee from Italy, Maria Rizzardo. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Thailand, Ampichi Zempi. from Japan, Yuka Fujiki.
Oh. I like that entrance right there.
The Japanese fans are out in force again for Fujiki, who means business as he walks to the ring, nodding his head to the music. Could he be Japan's second gold medalist?
I love Team Japan over there in the corner there as he gets an opportunity to walk past his countrymen and his teammates, you know, and all the supporters. You know, that's got to be a nice feeling just before you step in the ring.
Zemfi from Thailand looking ready to go.
I like the long, lean body.
From
of
our
Zemfi.
distance, it looks like Zemfi is the taller, rangier fighter, so it might be a similar fight to the fight which we had before.
But I certainly like the way Fujiki walked to the ring, though. You know, very, very confident and businesslike, you know, marching to the ring. I like the way that looked. We'll see if that what that translates to once the bout starts. But you see that long, rangy body in that red corner.
Definitely a height advantage there for Zemfi from Thailand, and the action will get underway in just a moment. In our fourth bout of the afternoon so far. We hope that you're enjoying everything which you're watching. A good jab there from Fujiki from Japan in blue. Zemfi in red representing Thailand. And Fujiki got through with a good straight 1-2 there, didn't he?
He did. I like the way he realized immediately that first jab he threw got through. Why not send it again with a little bit of company? The very next thing he does is the jab followed by the right hand. Both got home. Good way to start if you are Team Japan and Fujiki.
We've got a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter here. These can sometimes make for messy fights.
I like the right hand by Fujiki getting to the head of Zemfi. And I'm a little surprised how early on in this contest that height and reach advantage isn't doing a better job of keeping Fujiki, you know, away from Zemfi.
And one of them's just switched stance. I can't work out which one it was, but maybe there was just a moment of madness and they're both orthodox fighters, or maybe I'll blame it on the jet lag.
Well, I tell you what, if one of them switched, it probably should have been Zemfi, because that Fujiki is getting to him, you know, in this contest, early on here in this contest. So we may want to change something.
Zemfi is very good at throwing that jab upstairs and then digging in deep with that straight right hand to the body. He's thrown it 2 or 3 times already, and I bet we'll see it again before this round ends. There we go, switching stance. I wasn't going mad.
I like the patience of Fujiki in this situation. He understands that he doesn't have the height and the reach, so he's taking his time, he's being patient, and he doesn't throw a punch until he's in range. See, that jab not missing. He's waiting until he knows he can reach Zemfi before he lets his hands go.
He does, and he gets that timing right as well. So he just, and that was a very good 1-2. And that was exactly what I was getting onto. He kind of knows exactly the right time to throw it. He doesn't leave it too long. He doesn't throw it too soon either.
Right. And it's like in the bout earlier with Kumamoto and Chance. You know, this is very different. What we're seeing right here, we see Fujiki having much more success getting to his opponent because Zemfi is not as concerned about the distance because he's coming forward himself.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the judges score this, because Zemfi has done some good work, but the tidier, the more calculated and the clever work has come from Japan, in my opinion.
I would agree with that, and there may be a mixed bag of scores in this first round, but I would not be surprised to see Fujiki get it on all 5 cards.
Well, let's see what the judges think about that. Wow.
I'll just sit here and let you marvel at my analysis.
You are. Have you got those lottery numbers?
But there you see it, 10-9 on all 5 cards, pitching a shutout here, in that first round is Fujiki, and I think it speaks to the things that we talked about during the bout. You said in that first round that you saw the cleaner punches, the more efficient, the ring generalship, and the patience of him, not doing things to get himself in trouble. He's waiting for those opportunities, and he has been very efficient with his offense. Not a lot of swings and misses. He has looked good. I wish I could see CompuBox numbers for what he did in that first round. I think that he's got a pretty high connect percentage in that first round. Good work by Fujiki and that team from Japan. Let's see what adjustment they've made in that red corner.
A word you used there is a word I should have used in that opening round, and he is an efficient fighter. He doesn't waste anything, does he?
He doesn't.
And that's a big skill to have, especially at this age and with this style of boxing.
And now you see that lead right hand being thrown by Fujiki. He's seen some things that he's liked, probably something that was mentioned to him in the corner between rounds, something that they know that they can get away with, and you see stepping in and being aggressive. Fujiki has got some nice things going.
Zemfi just looking a little hesitant before he's going in and throwing those shots.
Getting hit in the face will do that to you.
It tends to have that effect, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a simple formula. Fujiki, he's scoring. I'm not going to go so far as to say he's scoring at will, but, the connect percentage is high for him, maybe even very high. As you see, doubling up the jab, pushing the head back of Zenfi right now, and now hooking to the body. Fujiki, again, efficient and effective.
Very effective. And Fujiki, not only is
that
he very
left
efficient,
hook to the body hurt Zenfi. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It did.
He's a little unsteady.
Right under the right elbow of Zenfi, and he knows he's hurting because he's just thrown it there again, and he's going to target that part of the body, isn't he? And he's starting to break down his man here from Thailand, and this is becoming target practice.
And that efficiency is really showing right now in that moment where Zenfi is a little bit in trouble. Fujiki is not wasting time. He's not headhunting. He's not just throwing wild punches. He is systematically taking him apart.
He is, and I get a feeling that we're going to have a standing 8 count before this round is over. If this continues in the same way that it has done over the last 45 seconds or so, because this really has been target practice for Fujiki in blue from Japan, who is landing with almost every jab, and the shots which Zenfi is throwing back at him, he's covering up well and taking them on the arms, on the elbows, on the gloves, and they're not necessarily getting through in any way.
That hook to the body, again, he threw one just a moment ago. He knows that left hook to the body is hurting Zenfi. He's waiting for his chance to let it go again.
And Fujiki is annoying Zenfi with that jab of his. He's not snapping his head back every time of it, but he's just shoving it in his face, and he's being irritating. And that will be demoralizing for the man from Thailand, and that will break his heart and his soul eventually. And Fujiki will make him pay for it when he switches off. And that was another good body shot, this time under the left elbow from Zenfi. Or, sorry, from Fujiki to Zenfi.
Good right hand by Fujiki, and also stepping on the front foot of Zenfi as well, just as he was getting ready to back away. One of the things that you have to deal with sometimes when you switch stances, when you go from orthodox, to southpaw, you have to be aware of your front foot. And there you look at that second round, and we don't see this as much as we should. Not just pitching a shutout, but 10-8 on every card for the blue corner, and Fujiki representing Team Japan. It has been surgical what he has done to Zenfi.
That is a proper shutout, isn't it? That is a dominant round. You don't tend to get them as dominant as that, do you, on this side of things?
Especially not when you are in the finals of a tournament such as this, so this is a gold medal bout right here. And again, it's something that we talked about earlier in the broadcast, when you happen to see at this level that much distance between number 1 and number 2, between first and second, it's so impressive to think about that. And you imagine the number of boxers that Zenfi has bested, in his amateur career so far, to be in here now with a guy that is just clearly outclassing him.
Outclassing him, he is, as we go into the third and final round in this Under-19s men's 60 kilogram world championship here in Colorado, USA. If you're just joining us, we've had some fantastic bouts already this evening, and Yuga Fujiki from Japan is bossing this. He's just had a 10-8 round on all 5 of the judges' scorecards, and he'll be looking to do exactly the same thing in the last 2.5 minutes of this bout.
And he's going to the body even more now. You see that straight jab to the body, and then following it with the right hook upstairs. He has Zinfi exactly where he wants him at this point in this contest.
He does, and he's continuing with that irritating jab and just sitting in the pocket there, and throws a lovely lead hook to the body. He threw one upstairs, and then it made the left arm of Zenfi come up, and then he just punished him for it immediately, digging a left hook into the body. But Zenfi came back with a backhand uppercut there, which just grazed the nose of Fujiki from Japan.
He did, but when you look at the body language of Fujiki, it does not seem that he has any concern about the power of Zenfi right now.
And a bit more work there from Zenfi. Starting to liven up a little bit now, but nothing which is too effective, if we're going to tell the truth.
The best punch in that last exchange was that right hook from Zenfi to the head of Fujiki, but Fujiki's still right there. And we talked about keeping him, in the front yard. Fujiki has kicked in the front door, and he's sitting on the couch right now.
I want to know where he ends up by the end of this. We've got 1 minute to find out. There's Fujiki just on that front foot again, and Zenfi tries to give him a taste of his own medicine as he throws a left hook under the right elbow. But it doesn't do anything to the man from Japan as he just corners him once again. And a nice right hand there. That was sweet and came out of nowhere.
And then you see the standing 8 count, with that right hand. He's become, Zenfi has become so aware of those punches, those hooks to the body, that Fujiki was able to throw that right hand right down Broadway.
He was. And here he comes again with every intention of throwing it one more time. Well, how many more times he can throw it in the remainder of this 3rd and final round. And Zenfi finds himself again on the ropes as Fujiki does get caught, though. He tried to turn and looked like he was going to try and throw a right hook to the body or a straight right hand to the body, and got caught with a straight right hand himself.
He did. Zenfi threw one of his best punches in that moment. It was good footwork by Zenfi.
Zenfi's done plenty of good work in this fight, but you've touched on it a lot in terms of, there's just levels in this, isn't there? And he was outclassed. But there was many a time where Zenfi would slip a shot and then come back with a really tidy textbook counter, whether that was a lead hook or uppercut to the body, or if it was something upstairs. He did do lots of good stuff, and we're not going to take anything away from him, but today he was outclassed.
He definitely was, and you can tell, with the switching, from southpaw, to orthodox, is probably something that he's been able to utilize to his advantage in other contests. I'm sure he didn't just, decide to do that today for the very first time, but the beauty of what was happening in that other corner is that Fujiki was ready for it.
The winner on points by unanimous decision in the blue corner from Japan, Yuga Fujiki.
But an extremely comfortable win for Japan and their 2nd gold medal of these championships.
And a dominant performance. You see 30-26 on 3 of the cards, 30-25 on the other 2. I mean, that says it all right there, Darren. When you're looking at it in those numbers, you can't argue with it. It was a masterful performance. And when you think about what we saw in that contest, it was exactly what we saw from the opening bell. Seconds after the bell rang, Fujiki came across the ring, threw a jab that moved the head of Zenfi. The very next thing he did was throw that same jab and then a straight right hand behind it, and it was all downhill from there.
It did. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew how to do it. Well, that was bout 4 of the afternoon so far, and we've got one more bout to bring you before we go to a medal ceremony, and then we'll be back for another 5 fantastic contests of boxing. We are completely spoiled, and we hope that you're all enjoying this at home, especially if you're massive boxing fans. And I know that there'll be people tuning in from all over the world watching their people, their friends, their son, their daughter, or whoever it is, and I hope that you're enjoying it as much as we are.
I mean, I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't be enjoying this as much as we are. If you are here, you're a boxing fan, and this is exactly what boxing is about.
65-kilogram division. The judges from Ireland, Mongolia, Italy, Japan, and Colombia. The referee from Canada, Wade Peterson. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Netherlands, Aliyah Hopema. In the blue corner, from India, Audrey Gureva.
And Gadival from India there just gives a big fist pump into the air to her teammates from India. And he's loving the occasion, and why wouldn't you?
I tell you what, the boxers for Team India must get a running start back there because they always get so far ahead of their coaches.
They just run off.
The coach is always trying to catch up to them. You know, enthusiasm is the theme for Team India. I love it. I love it.
Can India get their hands on another gold? My goodness, have they had some opportunities to do so.
They have.
Regardless, at the absolute worst, there'll be another silver medal added to that medal table, which is not bad by any stretch of the imagination at all.
Well, and then on top of that, let's think about the fact that, I mean, I know the viewing audience at home may not have the schedule of the bouts that are going to take place today, but after our medal ceremony, which is coming up, after this bout for our first 5 victors, 3 more boxers from India are going to get a shot at a gold medal in the second half of our day. I mean, it's almost unbelievable how successful they have been.
It is. Well, Hopema in red representing Netherlands and Gadival in blue representing India in the under-19 women's 65-kilogram world championship final here in Colorado, USA. And a bit of feinting to kick things off from Hopema immediately.
Gureva has an interesting stance that she employs inside the ring. Comes in the crouch, and I'm wondering if we're going to see her explode, up, and there we go. There it is right there.
Just as you said it happens.
Looking to generate power when she gets inside. Those are some meaningful punches.
Yeah, Hopema just kind of pushes off the canvas with that right foot and just launches towards Gadival with that right hand, doesn't she? And it's quick and it comes out of nowhere. And Gadival has got to have her wits about her and make sure she doesn't get caught with that, because I could bet my bottom dollar that it's going to be a theme of this one.
Absolutely, and so it's going to come down to whether or not Gadival is going to be able to time that, stay out of the way of it, capitalize on it, make her pay for trying it. That's going to be what this is about, and from that southpaw stance, probably has a pretty good chance at doing it, as you see that counter left hand get home for Gadival and that team from India.
Gadival is a good counter puncher. I've picked up on that already, but Hopema is just getting on the inside and not allowing her to be the counter puncher, which she is. And you can see it as she stands there in her southpaw stance, just keeping that jab out, trying to keep Hopema at range and then trying to counter on her entrance, just like she did there. But the two become tangled up quite often. But we've again got a good contest, which is well matched.
Absolutely, good exchange there that's taking place in the ring. So it's one of those situations where scoring-wise it'll be interesting. but it looks as if, Godiwal feels pretty confident about what she has done so far in this first round.
And Hopemar just throws a right hook on the break there, and the two get straight back to action. And Godiwal got caught with it was a lead hook by the looks of it. Once again, these punches are coming out so quick, even from where we're sat. It's hard to tell because they've got fast hands, but then there goes that lunging right hand by Hopemar from the Netherlands once again. As we go into the last few seconds of this opening round in this 65-kilogram contest. Let's see what the judges say.
Well, I tell you what, I think there'll be a mixed bag, but I like India's chance to be a little bit ahead at the end of this first round. We'll see what the judges have to say. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
He's done it again, and I can promise you, he's not seeing it any quicker than what you are. Everything which you see on the screen is exactly as it happens. It is as live as it gets.
4 of the 5 judges at ringside can all agree that Godiwal and that team from India, did a better job in that first round. And I tell you what, I mean, there were good things from both boxers, and there's a lot to build on if you're Team Netherlands over there in that red corner with Hopemar. But in that first round, I thought that Godiwal did a good job of adjusting to that lunging. It worked a little bit better in the beginning of the round than it did in the latter stages of the round, and I thought Godiwal did a nice job of scoring as Hopemar came forward.
She did, and let's see what this round in particular has got in store for us as we go into the second round of 3. And Hopemar, super quick with those reactions, and is coming flying out, trying to land those shots, but Godiwal is having none of it. She just turns out and away from the ropes, which is exactly the thing to do. She doesn't want to be stuck in the same place for too long because Hopemar will make her pay for it.
Hopemar is definitely trying to get inside. That's what she wants, lunging in from the outside. Just throwing and even possibly landing that first punch when she lunges inside is not going to be enough to win this contest. She's going to have to do more once she gets there. She's got to try to just maul Godiwal once she gets inside. She can't be one and done or even two and done once she lunges inside because she's allowing Godiwal to finish the encounter and throw the last punches in the exchange.
It's a good point, and Godiwal just threw a long straight 1-2 there, and Hopemar didn't move an inch, and it was the perfect distance away because neither of those shots landed, and then she was in the right place to spring off the canvas and then throw those shots. And just as I say that, she does exactly that with 2 or 3 straight shots, 1 to the body and 2 upstairs.
Right, and the best one of those was the last one that she threw as she was backing away, so she finished that exchange, and that's what she's going to need to do against Godiwal.
Both fighters sticking around the centre of the ring for the moment as Godiwal throws a few shots which land on the head guard of Hopemar. And look, is that a sign of confidence from Hopemar, or is that just a distracting technique? I'm not sure, but here comes Godiwal from India, who is by no means out of this fight in any way.
Well, I tell you what it ultimately ended up being, and that was a mistake. You can't stand there and do that. You can't be close enough to get hit and not be able to respond. So that's not a good position for Hopemar to be in. She's standing on the end of the punches of Godiwal in that moment and allowing Godiwal to be first. That's not the formula that you want.
Well, I'm going to be very interested to see how the judges see this one, because there has been good boxing from both of these boxers in this round, and both have done some eye-catching stuff and stuff which the judges will like. But will it be one of those rounds where it comes down to the last 10 seconds where they make their decision and the two of them come to blows again on the far side of the ring?
Interesting round right there, and I think you'll see a bit of the same that we got at the end of the first round, maybe more. As I'm saying, maybe more. There you have it, and it is more. And because the lunging in that Hopema did to start the contest has gotten less effective as we have gone on, here, in this bout. And so she's going to have to do something else along with that. She needs to be first. She can't allow Gurdiwal to throw punches from the outside before she gets started. And then you can't just jump in and throw 1 or 2 punches and then take a couple at the end of the exchange. She needs to be first. She needs to be last. If you are not close enough to touch Gurdiwal, great. But don't get close enough for Gurdiwal to touch you and you not be close enough to, to fire back effectively. Let's not do that. But now it's the third round. You throw all of that strategy out of the window. If you're a Hopema, you just go for broke right now, let your hands go and see what happens.
She's certainly got no choice. And straight on the front foot, pressurizing Gurdiwal, but misses as Gurdiwal beautifully just turns away, changes the angle, and makes Hopema punch thin air. And I don't think the problem has been the urgency or anything like that from Hopema. I think it's just the boxing ability from Gurdiwal has just been better. It's just been that tiny bit better, and she's landed on more of the exchanges, and that is what the judges have seen so far in the 2 opening rounds.
They are, and I found it interesting right there. You saw the official warn Gurdiwal about moving her glove around, her lead glove. I mean, with what we've seen Hopema do, this entire bout, I find it interesting that is what got the officials' attention.
And Hopema getting frustrated there, wanted the referee to get involved and break them clean sooner, because she knows that she's got to do something special in this round if she's going to become world champion. At the moment, it's India's Gurdiwal who is going to have a hand raised.
You notice that Hopema has it, and now she's employing a more conventional stance where she's carrying her gloves. You see her now boxing, looking more conventional in her approach. And maybe this would have, if she had started that earlier in this contest, maybe been more effective, because the style that she was using just wasn't working.
It wasn't, and she's very quickly running out of time, because the seconds go past fast when you need more time to turn a fight around like this. And Gurdiwal is just bouncing and dancing around the ring, just staying out of range, just making sure she doesn't get hit. She's going to have to do a bit of work, because the referee will remind her what we're here to see and what to do. And there is the work as she throws a 1-2 lead hook, and the 2 become tangled up yet again. Both of them with their hands raised, saying, look, it's not me, ref, I'm not the one holding.
It's not me.
And a big lunging forward right hand again from Hopema, who hasn't given up for any moment of this bout. But although she hasn't given up, she's just not being as successful as she needed to be.
No, not at all. And you see, Gurdiwal on the outside starting to throw more combinations. And again, Hopema not where you want to be, and that's on the end of the punches of Gurdiwal.
She landed a couple of good shots there on the ropes, did Hopema. But here we go, 10 seconds. And Gurdiwal just turning her back there, and I think that's what the referee was just saying, don't turn your back. Number 1 rule of boxing is protect yourself at all times, but that is the sound to symbolise the end of this bout. 3 rounds. Gurdiwal comfortably. We've had a few comfortable wins today, haven't we?
We have, and I think what you're seeing is that there are just some individuals that are just further along, in the process and in their growth as boxers. Again, we're talking about under 19. Even though these are very skilled individuals, they're still very young and still early in their careers. As a part of where they're going to be at some point in the future. So there's a lot that's going to happen between now and the eventual end. So you're going to see those differences sometimes, and sometimes those differences can seem a lot greater than they're going to be later on, right? So, timing is everything, they say. And so maybe you're just seeing Hopema at the right time, in her career. Maybe you're seeing Gurdiwal at the wrong time. Whatever that means, we don't know. But we do know Gurdiwal has gotten that second gold medal for Team
In
India.
the blue corner, from India, Harpreet
dominant performance for India, and there she is just dancing and sticking her hand up to the crowd and all the people that are here to support her. Again, a moment, a memory which will live with her forever, undoubtedly. And the Netherlands, bless her, Hopemar is gutted, she's devastated as she walks out of the ring and untangles her hand wraps, and the doctor just has to get in her way to check her out and make sure she's okay. But it's understandable, David, isn't it? You know, the pressure is massive. You know, the first thing every single person who steps in this ring thought of last night before they went to sleep was today. And the first thing they thought of when they woke up was today, wasn't it? It's about this fight, this championship.
Well, first of all, you're assuming that they slept.
Yeah, I bet they barely did.
You know, first you're assuming that they slept. And if you are, let's think about our first bout of the afternoon, you know, Nisha from India, you know, you're assuming that she slept. You know, with the, and again, you don't want to sound like you're taking away from what Team India has accomplished. But again, those silver medals in the moment, they come with a loss. Now later, when we have the medal ceremonies and they get to get on the podium and have that silver medal put around their neck, it's such a great honor and an accomplishment. And everyone applauds because it is a big deal and we're all proud of them. And they're up there doing things that I could never have done. So there's so much to be proud of. But in the moment, though, it comes with not succeeding. And that's a much different feeling. And so now you're the first one to come in the ring today, and you are a part of that. And you want to turn that, you know, you want to turn that the direction that the team is going. And it's a big thing, you know, to attempt to do. So when you talk about pressure, you know, so much of it we put on ourselves, but at the end of the day, there's so much pride that you have for your country and your countrymen, and you want to perform well. It is a lot. It is a lot.
It is, and I think there's other factors to consider as well. Look, I've travelled out to here from the UK, and like sleeping, I'm waking up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning because in London it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and all the different nationalities. And you're only here for a week, and that has got to have an effect, hasn't it, on like your body clock and your energy levels and how switched on you are. Because when you're tired, you don't perform in the same way that you do when you're alert and you've had a good night's sleep, do you?
Right. And then, you know, in any sport, the individuals will tell you'll listen to football players, American football players, you know, talk about just playing a Monday night football game or playing a Sunday evening game or a Sunday late game, right? Just those differences in the schedule. They'll talk about how it upsets their routine, and, you know, and it takes a certain type of professional to be able to perform with even those slight changes. So now think about flying across the Atlantic Ocean from whichever direction you were coming from, you know, actually to get here, you know, because, you know, some people came east, some people came west, but everyone has made their way to Colorado here in the U.S. to be a part of this. 30 countries made that journey, you know, to be here. And so when you think about this, again, the sacrifices that you have to make in order to have success at this level, you know, it's incredible what these individuals can do, even the ones, you know, who don't go all the way. Because let me tell you something, before we break and go to the medal ceremony, it takes a lot of talent and ability to lose in front of the whole world.
It really does. And we've seen some truly outstanding boxing today already, and we've only had 5 bouts so far. We've got another 5 to go. Has there been anybody or anything in particular which has stood out for you so far? For me, it was our first Japanese contest, our first Japanese fighter, Kumamoto, who just boxed beautifully. I think beautifully. I can't sum it up any better than that. He did everything fantastically with such a lovely, sweet boxing style.
Right. And he is exactly the person that I was going to pick, you know, when you ask, because understanding and knowing the boxer that Emmanuel Chance is, and having watched him and seeing the competitors that he has bested, the number of national championships that he has won here in the States, to see Kumamoto have that type of success against him, obvious success against him, you know, undeniable. Like, there was no, you could see it on the face of Chance, you know, when they made at the end of the bout, before we even made the announcement of the decision, just seeing the wraps being taken off his hands, the gloves in the corner, the headgear, you can see it on his face. He knew what we knew, and that was that Kumamoto had done an outstanding job today, and maybe, you know, I guess it's debatable, but he may have beat the best boxer to get his medal.
He probably did. And another person for me who was very impressive was the other Japanese fighter. They're on a roll, the Japanese. They've come here to make a statement today. Fujiki.
You are right.
Against Zemfi from Thailand. Just was explosive, was aggressive, was just dominant, just did everything which he needed to do in such a well-established way as well.
Every weapon he introduced in that contest was successful. He started with the jab, it worked. He followed it with the straight right hand, it worked. He started throwing the hook to the body, it worked. He started throwing the straight jab to the body, it worked. He started throwing the overhand right, it worked. Every weapon he introduced in that bout worked because he was patient and he was efficient.
Now, I want to skip ahead a little bit because obviously you are very well known for being the voice of the Team USA stuff, and you cover a lot of that and have done for a long period of time. Our last bout of the evening, talk us through that one.
Rashawn Sims of the U.S. taking on Sangwan, from India. The significance that this bout may have is probably increasing as the tournament goes on. Obviously, we've talked a lot already about Team India and what they have accomplished in this tournament, but we've also talked about how those silver medals have come with the loss. This is going to be the last bout of the tournament, and he's going to have a competitor from India.
And what's Rashawn Sims like? Because I've not had the pleasure of seeing him box before. I've heard good things.
He is a kind young man. He is an humble young man. You would enjoy talking to him. He's an individual, who speaks openly and proudly about his faith. He's another one of those individuals that wears his faith, on his sleeve, and I think that's a pretty nice thing. But in the ring, he's a tank. Absolutely. He comes forward, he throws with power, and he is relentless.
It's a bit like Elijah Lugo, who we were talking about yesterday, who won gold for USA. And when he stepped into that ring, or he didn't even have to get into the ring. We watched him make his ring walk from just where we're sat.
Well, he won't be menacing, he won't be that, but no. Once he gets in the ring.
But he'll switch.
I was about to say, you talk about that switch, he definitely has that switch. And the thing that may be most concerning, if you're in the other corner, if you're talking about some of the differences and similarities between he and a boxer like Elijah Lugo, well, Rashawn is bigger.
How important do you think it is that boxers can switch it, can turn it on when they need to? For me, that's massive, especially on occasions like this.
Right. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. It depends on what you like. What you from. Let's say, you talk to a person like a Mike Tyson, who speaks about the way that he came up and the life that he lived prior to boxing and even during boxing to a degree. And I saw an interview with him recently where someone asked, if you weren't in boxing, what other sport would you have played? What other sport would you have been good at? And he says, if I weren't a boxer, I'd be a criminal. Right? And so everyone has their own path. So some people need a larger switch than others. Some people need to have a switch that they can flip when they get out of the ring and go back into society. So it just depends on where you are and where that switch is needed. And Rashawn definitely has that switch, and you'll see it from the time he makes that ring walk, and once he gets in the ring, you'll definitely see when that switch comes on.
Yesterday I started to tell you a story, and I'm hoping I'm going to have enough time to tell you it, but I don't think I will. So I'm going to have to save it once again, because in a moment we are going to go to the award ceremony where some of the medals so far will be given out. They're just finalising all of that stuff. But I bet you're on tenterhooks waiting to hear about this story now, isn't it? Because twice I've nearly told you it.
Well, let's have it.
No, I need to find the right time to deliver it. I really do.
It looks like they're giving the green light for the medal ceremony. At some point, we're going to take a break and allow you guys to enjoy the medal ceremony, and then we'll come back and continue the live boxing action, the next 5 championship bouts that will result in gold medals being won. And so we're going to get a chance to do all that as we wait, the voice of the lovely Ryan Nico, who's going to be directing and spearheading the awarding of these medals. And one of the things that I've really enjoyed is watching the teammates of the boxers that are receiving these gold medals when that flag goes up and you hear that anthem.
You're going to see it now.
Presented and awarded. So thank you all so much for coming to the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 Championships. And first, we are going to start with our female 51-kilogram medalist. Come on out. And here to present the medals is the president of Zimpower, Mr. Thomas Todd.
Congratulations for everyone. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, our bronze medalist from Germany, Asia Elfantali. And bronze medalist from the USA, Layla Zakirova. And the silver medalist from India, Nisha. And ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 female 51-kilogram gold medalist from England, Alice Pumphrey. Congratulations, lady. All right, boxing fans, at this time, we are going to award our male 55-kilogram medalists. And ladies and gentlemen, here to present the medals is the two-time Youth World Champion. She is also the Youth Olympic Gold Medalist and 2024 Olympian from right here in the USA, Jahaira Gonzalez.
First of all, what an honor to be here at the first ever World Boxing U19 Championships. I am so proud of everyone for making it out here. You know, being a 3-time world champ, 2-time being a youth world champ. I was in these shoes before, and if you guys keep working hard and stay dedicated, stay focused, you'll be an Olympian as well. Congratulations, everyone.
And the 55-kilogram bronze medalist from Wales, Michael O'Sullivan. And bronze medalist from India, Krish Pal. And ladies and gentlemen, the silver medalist from the USA, Emmanuel Chance. And boxing fans, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 Male 55-kilogram gold medalist from Japan, Fuma Kumamoto. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to award the female 54-kilogram medalists. And here to present the medals is the president of Algeria Boxing, Khalefi Youssef.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Je suis très content d'être ici parmi vous. Félicitations à tous les boxeurs, à tous les boxeurs. En mon nom personnel, au nom de la famille de la boxe algérienne, je souhaite une grande réussite pour la boxe mondiale avec la World Boxing. Inch'Allah.
And ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist, all right, this is the bronze medalist from Brazil, Letícia de Brito. And bronze medalist from Ukraine, Bożena Melnik. And the 54-kilogram female silver medalist from India, Taktu Supriya Devi. And boxing fans, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 female 54-kilogram gold medalist from England, Caitlin Wise. And everyone, if you will, please be standing for the national anthems. Congratulations, ladies. And now, boxing fans, we are going to award our medalists in the male 60-kilogram division. And here to present the award, the president of the Japan Boxing Federation, Tatsuya Nakama.
Thank you very much. First of all, it's my great pleasure to be here as the president of the first at the 19 World Boxing Championship. It's my great pleasure. So I really impressed all the boxers level is quite high, and all the judge quality is very nice. It's thick. So I believe that with this motion, with this venue, we can change the boxing as an Olympic sport, and we have to do it. We have to protect their dream. Thank you very much.
And ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist from Australia, Jacob Kessar. And bronze medalist from Ukraine, Vidachi Zindiev. And ladies and gentlemen, the silver medalist from Thailand, Apichin Zempi. And the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 male 60-kilogram gold medalist from Japan, Yuga Fujiki. Please rise for the national anthem. Congratulations, gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to award the female 65-kilogram category. And here to present the award, the president of the Singapore Boxing Federation, Fairuz Mohammed.
Firstly, congratulations to all the boxers on the podium and all the boxers who participated in this tournament. It was a magnificent event, and in the same breath, I'd like to congratulate World Boxing for hosting a magnificent event, and we are in the right direction towards Olympic sport and saving the sport of boxing. The future of boxing looks very bright.
And ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist from Australia, Indiana Timms. And bronze medalist from the USA, Nevaeh Williams. fans, the silver medalist from Netherlands, Aliyah Hopema. And boxing fans, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 female 65-kilogram gold medalist from India, Partvi Gulliver. Congratulations, ladies. And boxing fans, bouts 6 through 10 will continue very soon.
David, we're back, and I've just seen you over with a bit of a legend in Gennady Golovkin. Chatting boxing, were you, or you talking about meat and potatoes?
Well, I tell you what, you know, it's always a pleasure, you know, for me to stop and make the day of a person like a Gennady Golovkin. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Was he pleased to see you?
I'm never too busy to stop and talk. You know what I'm saying? To chat. You know, I'm never gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Triple G's like, hey, Dave, and I'm like, hey, I stopped.
And you were good enough to give him a picture as well.
I'm sure he has some already, but there's nothing wrong with getting the more updated one, I mean, so it's always fun when I run into an old friend.
What a legend. Well, here we go, about 6.
In the male 65-kilogram division, the judges from USA, Canada, Lithuania, Poland, and Italy. The referee from Brazil, Michel Paulo. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Kazakhstan, Asukam Kosherbai. In the blue corner, from Australia, Cooper McConnell.
Sounds like Cooper McConnell has a fan club, doesn't it?
He certainly does, and a long way to travel to come and support him. And Kosherbai has got a Kazakh legend present watching him, and you mentioned this in our preview show, didn't you? How much will he want to win this now?
Oh, I mean, he already wants to win. Of course, every boxer in this tournament wants to come away victorious. Every boxer who came here wants to be boxing on the final days, but for him to get an opportunity to do it in front of someone, I can only imagine how much he idolizes. That would just make it so much more special.
You really would, and I know that Team Australia are well and truly up for this. I bumped into one of the corner team of Team Australia in the lift of the hotel, and we were just having a quick chat about the finals, and I won't try and do the accent because I'll offend people, even though I think it's all right. But he basically just said, yeah, the week's all right, but he said it's about the finals, because that's what gets us up for it. That's what gets us going. These are the days which get the juices flowing. Absolutely,
and so here we are, first bout of the second half of our Day of Championships. And Kosherbai is in there with the guy that we talked about as one of our outstanding boxers for the week.
Should be a good bout. Kosherbai in red representing Kazakhstan, and Cooper McConnell in blue representing Australia, and the two of them are straight to the action, which is exactly what we want, what the crowd want, and what you want watching at home. And that was a really good straight left hand by McConnell from Australia, and he followed it up with a jab as he moved out and gained distance. And he's already looking comfortable in there, and it's down to Kosherbai to get himself into this fight, even though there's only been 30 seconds gone so far, David.
Well, if there was a reminder that you needed in order to keep your hand up, that would be it. That left hand of McConnell serving notice of what this is going to be like, and you can already see the desire for the activity and the high output from McConnell.
You can, and that was a really good straight 1-2 from Kosherbai, who really dug deep into the canvas and let his hands go with that, and throws a good straight left down, which landed on the face of McConnell.
Serving notice is Kosherbai that he is here to win this gold medal as well. I like those punches from the Kazakhstan.
And the Kazakhstan Kosherbai just for a very good Gennady Golovkin type of shot as he come over and down, which is the shot we used to see Golovkin throw when he fought pretty much everybody, and it was a shot which worked. But can the Kazakh make it work for himself here in these championships, in this under-19 men's 65-kilogram championship final?
Both boxers are throwing some really big shots here early in this contest. They are wasting no time.
And listen to that noise from the Australian fans.
Yes.
They are up for it. They're loving it. They've got someone here in the final. Oh. Both of them landed something solid there, and we could hear it from where we are. And there was a bit of a thud and a clunk.
Absolutely. I may have liked the one from McConnell a little bit better, but I like what Kosherbai is doing as well. He, again, serving notice, because McConnell jumped out to a pretty big start to begin this round, and I like what Kosherbai has done to kind of settle down, the success of McConnell.
McConnell claiming of a low blow there by the looks of it.
I tell you, one of the more effective playground moves that you're going to see.
But the referee's given us a standing 8, so we haven't got the ability to look back at that, but McConnell looks in a lot of pain there and was obviously caught low because he doesn't seem the sort of fighter who wants to take breaks. He wants to be in there on the action, but Koshibai, great shots. This is a firefight. Both of them super fast. Both of them throw lethal straight left and right hands, and McConnell just getting out of the way because I think he felt a couple of those, don't you?
I think the best punch in that last exchange was that counter left hand thrown down by Koshibai, and I tell you what, it kind of shook the foundation of McConnell a little bit in that moment. But you see the scores on the screen right there. What Koshibai was able to do wasn't enough in the minds of the judges at ringside, ladies and gentlemen, but there you have it. 10-9 on each of the 5 cards, ladies and gentlemen. So the judges at ringside all like best what they saw out of that red corner in McConnell. But there's still things to build on if you're Team Kazakhstan and Koshibai. I thought he did some good things as well. You can't argue with the fact that the 5 judges thought that McConnell was better. But I think moving forward, there are a couple of things. One, is McConnell going to make the adjustments that will prevent those straight left hands from coming down Main Street? And 2, is he going to be able to keep up that activity?
Round number 2.
Well, I tell you what, it's sometimes hard to believe that these boxers, which we're watching in particular, these two are 17, 18 years old, because
yes.
They really are good at what they do, and they're enjoyable to watch, and they're giving us some entertainment here, and that's what sport is meant to be, it's entertaining, and these two got the memo, and they're rolling with it as both of them start this round in the same way which they started the first round, and that is all action, picking their shots, scoring, making sure the judges know that they are the one. And that big looping overhand left there from Koshibai. It's almost like he knows Triple G is a few feet away and watching.
You know, he's doing a pretty good job of applying pressure to McConnell. Very good work right there, landing the 2-punch combination and then avoiding McConnell in return. I mean, that's what you want to do in the world of boxing. But McConnell is doing a good job as well. You know, he's still very active. He's moving a lot. So he's giving Koshibai a lot to think about. But I like so far in the second round the work of Koshibai.
Me too, and McConnell is most definitely more on the back foot in this round, where in the previous round we saw him more on the front foot and being a bit more of a pressure fighter. Maybe that was something which the corner said in between rounds. Maybe that's because he's been hurt and he doesn't want to be caught with one of those punches yet again. But Koshibai just marches forward again with his hands together, his elbows tight together, his head tucked into his chin. Marches forward and tries to land those shots.
I'd like to see Koshibai a little more efficient, a tad bit more patient, and he needs to cut down on those big swings and misses.
They use a lot of energy up, don't they?
They do, and so you don't want to wear yourself out for no reason. So, you know, take a deep breath, slow down just a little bit, like right there, big, wide miss. You know, tighten up the screws on those punches a little bit. You know, don't try to, you know, hit a home run, you know, with every punch. It's okay to get a single or a double.
Koshibai is a man on a mission now as he just keeps going in one direction, and that is forward. But the referee's just having a chat about the push-in and how this fight has turned round, because McConnell clearly won every single moment of the round in terms of what the judges were saying, and then this time I think we could get the complete opposite when we get to the break.
You know, we certainly could, even though I still like a lot of what McConnell is doing. I think Koshibai has made some pretty good adjustments from the first to second round, but still he needs to be a little more efficient in those big, wild swings and misses. But right now he's doing good work with McConnell in the corner.
This really is all action, both of them really going for it. And McConnell digs deep and throws a couple of fairly wild left hands in hope of them getting there. And I think one of them might have got through, and Koshibai once again with that big looping over the top hand. And that is what we're here for.
big swings and misses from Kosherbai, but in the middle of those swings and misses, he landed a nice body shot in that corner that really slowed things down. As you look at the scores right there, 3 of the 5 judges at ringside still give that second round to McConnell.
I'm quite surprised by that. What are you?
I thought McConnell was still doing the things in the second round that he did in the first. We just saw a little more from Kosherbai. So I don't think he stopped McConnell very much until we got to the latter stages of that second round and that action in the corner. The body shot from Kosherbai, I thought, I don't know if it hurt him, but it seemed to be. The body language definitely changed, and it allowed for the opening for him to come upstairs and land the big shot. And if Kosherbai can just calm down a little and stop and cut down on the big swings and misses over the top. If he can just take a deep breath and, like I said, tighten the screws, he could do so much more here, in this round.
Efficiency is key, and it's something which you've picked up on, and rightly so. But here comes Kosherbai, who dipped down and really threw a strong left hook to the body there.
I can imagine that his corner reminded him of that body shot in the corner. It really did good work, for Kosherbai, and it opened up other opportunities. And so maybe we'll see a more dedicated effort to the body here in this third round.
And McConnell just trying to gauge his distance, but he's probably a bit too close for comfort as he has a look at Kosherbai and tries to work out the spots which he might be able to hit. And the two come together once again in this third and final round of the men's 65-kilogram gold medal bout. Kosherbai even working in the clinch as he just taps away to the body.
Cooper McConnell is reacting to those body shots from Kosherbai.
Cool. Cooper McConnell threw a good 1-2, but then gets punished for leaving his left hand down as Kosherbai comes with a straight right hand, which lands on the chin and just jolts the head back of McConnell.
Good action.
This is great action as two of them lean in on each other, head to head or close in. It's like they're in a phone box, like we said with one of the bouts yesterday, and it's exciting to watch. And McConnell, look at him really digging deep. He threw a good lead hook and followed up with a backhand hook. None of them hit, but he had good intentions, and the referee's now giving a standing 8 count.
And there it is. That standing 8 count is a result of the hook that he landed after he went back down to the body. He is responding to the body work.
And McConnell walks straight into a jab as this fight really has opened up. And look at Kosherbai go. Bites down on his gum shield and is really going for it. But McConnell, he's digging deep too.
Kosherbai, again, stay calm and continue to work the body, and great things happen.
There's that nice 1-2 from Australia's Cooper McConnell. A foundation shot which works so nicely for him, which has worked so well every time he's thrown it in this bout, in this gold medal bout.
Look at the rate at which McConnell is retreating.
And the crowd are feeling the energy of this, and Kosherbai lunges forward with a southpaw jab which just jolts the head back of Cooper McConnell. As we go into the last 15 seconds here, who was going to be the gold medalist out of these two? And another good straight left hand by Kosherbai. This is exactly what we're here for.
And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen.
What about? This is the stuff we're here for. We love this stuff.
If you're talking about kickstarting the second half of a day of champions, this is exactly how you want to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Kosherbai and McConnell. Cooper McConnell, he comes out to start this contest. He is a house of fire. He is letting his hands go, and he's all sorts of movement and activity. And Kosherbai he's chopping wood. He's a lumberjack. He's in the forest. He's swinging that axe, and just little by little, that tree is going to fall, and you see the standing 8 count coming at the most opportune time that it could have come, at a critical point in the third round. You know that got the judge's attention, and he tried to punctuate the round, put an exclamation point on it. I can't wait to see these scores, because we're going to get a split decision, right?
I think so.
6. The winner on points by split decision.
He said it. He said it.
In the blue corner,
and Cooper McConnell gets it.
Australia, Cooper McConnell.
And Kosherbai is clearly disappointed by that, but he obviously feels that he got it. It was a close contest, and Cooper McConnell, he had to go through a pretty nasty storm at one point in that third round, didn't he?
He did. He absolutely did. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I know it was a great moment. It was emotional. You see Kosherbai come out of the ring. He goes out of the side of the ring. Didn't go down the steps out of the corner. He's upset, emotional. You can't see it on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. He's on the competition floor, you know, and it's literally the blood, sweat, and tears that people put into the sport of boxing. And you have moments like this. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people may not agree with and may find a tad bit controversial, but I agree with the decision. I thought that Kosherbai let too much time go by in those first 2 rounds. McConnell clearly won the first round, you know, and he still did good work in the second round, while Kosherbai did do more. And so while the third round was dominant and it created a split decision, I felt that there was just too much to overcome by the time he got to that third round. It would have taken another standing 8 count, maybe a knockdown or something like that, which he wasn't able to do. And if amateur boxing was 4 rounds, he may have stopped McConnell, you know, in the next 3 minutes. But unfortunately, for Team Kazakhstan, we only boxed 9 minutes, and that wasn't enough.
Is scheduled in the female 80-kilogram division. The judges from Canada, Brazil, Australia, Lithuania, and Japan. The referee from Colombia, Wilfred Olivares Perez. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from India, Kritika Vasan. In the blue corner, from Czech Republic, Stella Blaskova.
You know, before we get to this next contest, I want to ask you, how many fans do you think Kosherbai just won over in the world of amateur boxing in that last bout?
Oh, huge amount. But if only he could have done a bit more of that in the opening 2 rounds.
Right.
But again, you can't be disappointed. Well, you can be disappointed. You understand the emotions. They always want to win gold, but they've done remarkable to get where they've got to, just like these two. So again, you have an Indian in the ring, and you're probably sick of us saying that, and you can see it. But it's staggering.
Yes.
How good they are. Staggering.
It is undeniable, the accomplishment of Team India in this tournament. The first ever under-19 World Boxing Championships, and they have served notice to the rest of the amateur boxing world that India is a force, and I think that's pretty nice.
I like it a lot. Well, let's see how these two get on. Blazkova from the Czech Republic and Vasan from India. India in red, Czech Republic in blue. There's the touch of the gloves and the respect and the final fist pump to their coaches as they climb out of the ring and sit on their seats ringside. They're not allowed to lean on the canvas in these tournaments. They've got to sit there nicely and shout their instructions from a few feet away, not meters. And there's some good action already, David, as these two start unfolding and are doing exactly what you expected of in the previous fight, where they're getting to work early and not thinking, I've got loads of rounds to warm up.
Hassan being cautioned by the official not to slap with the inside of the glove. And what he's talking about is a nice left hand that she landed to the head of Blazkova. But like you said, there's a lot of action to begin this contest. No feeling out process. And you see that straight right hand standing 8 count there.
Straight away, that was early for that to come in. And Blazkova didn't agree with that at all. I think The look on her face said it all. And here comes Vassan, who just is handling Blazkova around in that corner, in that neutral corner, and just unloading punch after punch. But Blazkova from the Czech Republic comes back, and that was a good right hand as she kind of switched stance mid-air and threw that straight right hand, which landed on the headgear of Team India.
And another right hand as you see Vassan along the ropes, not where you want to be. Blazkova, after that standing 8 count, trying to get it back, if you will, picking up the pressure and the pace against Vassan.
I'll tell you what, they'll both do well if they keep up this pace and this energy level throughout the whole 3 rounds, because 9 minutes is a long time to be punching as many times as they are and moving in the way that they are as well. But here comes Blazkova, who keeps doing that same thing where she almost switches stance, or her legs become shoulder width apart, and then throws the right hand. And I guess she needs to be careful that she doesn't get caught off balance whilst not in that strong boxing stance.
You know, that's definitely something that you have to think about. You know, a lot of people try to be ambidextrous in the ring and switch from one style to the other, but there's only been a couple of people in the history of boxing that have been good at it. I think more people try it than should.
I think that standing 8 that Blazkova took has urged her, has given her more urgency, and she's definitely got the bit between her teeth as she just continues to load up those right hands and walk towards Vassan from India and win those judges over. And that is the clapper for the final 10 seconds in this opening round, which has been an energetic round. It's been a round of non-stop action. It's been a bit messy at times, like it is now, but plenty to talk about.
Plenty to talk about as you see both boxers make their way to their respective corners. Vassan, I thought, did a pretty good job in that first round. I'm expecting another mixed bag maybe, but I like what Vassan is doing. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 10-9 on all 5 cards. I thought she did a good job of scoring to the head of Blazkova. You saw the standing 8 count, and then just before the bell, there was a moment where Vassan is basically mauling Blazkova, you know, along the ropes. So when you have moments like that, that's how you're going to get that 5-0 lead on the cards going into the second round. And so Team India in pretty good position, laying the foundation, you know, for that next gold medal there.
And what's impressive about the energy levels and the amount of shots which have been thrown is these women are fine at 80 kilos. It's a lot heavier, and it takes a lot more out of you when you're heavier and you're throwing those punches and you're receiving those punches. Can they really both keep up that tempo for another 6 minutes?
Well, you know, that's the question, whether or not they can or will. But what I believe is that what you saw from Vassan is more of what she does on a regular basis. And so I think for her, it's going to be business as usual. So it'll probably be a little easier for her boxing down the stretch in this contest. Whereas for Blazkova, she may be asked to do some things that aren't comfortable for her in this contest, and there may be more of an issue for her.
Blazkova just loading up that right hand, which was slipped nicely by Vassan, and the two become tangled up. But we're back to them apart, and look, they're just digging in, aren't they? Just throwing everything. Anything which resembles some form of punch, they're just going for it.
They are, and the thing about that is this is because of the pressure of Vassan and the game plan for Team India. So when you're Blazkova, you're responding and reacting to that pressure and what she's doing. And so again, it comes down to how much of Blazkova's game plan, her original game plan, can she keep in effect as she deals with the pressure of Vassan.
And another thing which will drain the energy is when the two of them come together and they're leaning on each other, because that's 80 kilos of weight on each other, and it's a trick which a lot of the heavier weighted fighters do to try and draw that energy out of their opponent, but they're both doing it.
They are, and listen to the crowd. You can tell, you know, there's support, a lot of support for both of these boxers in the crowd, and so everything that happens in the ring, there's a big reaction to, because everybody is rooting for one of those two boxers in the ring right now. And
I'll tell you who's really rooting is one of the coaches for Team India, who has been screaming, and we're just watching her. You won't be able to see her, obviously, but she's just shouting to just walk forward and throw more straight shots.
So you see another standing 8 count, this time being administered to Wasan and Team India, and you saw the look on the face of Wasan nodding as the official is counting, saying, you know, she doesn't agree with it, and so she certainly plans to go back out there and try and get that 8 count back. But now Blaszkova becoming much more aggressive as you see her running across the ring now.
You can, and I think that's that confidence, that feeling of I'm still in this and I can still do something about it. But the referee once again just having a quiet word, looks like, about keeping the head up.
Yes, and taking a point along the way.
Blaszkova lunging in with that jab there and then trying to throw that right uppercut up the middle, which misses. And that is the 10-second clapper. And round 2 will come to an end shortly, and both of them finishing this round in the same way that they started it, and that is just throwing punches at each other and making life difficult and making life hard.
You get the 5-0 count in the first round if you are Wasan. All 5 judges give it to you in the first round. That's awesome. Then you get to the second round, and it could not have gone worse. You are the victim of a standing 8 count, and then you get a point taken from you for not keeping your head up. And now we go heading into the third round, and you're down on all 5 cards. That could not have been more disastrous for Team India.
It's not a good look, is it? And the Team India corner are very animated, as you could just see him screaming advice at Vasan, and there's stuff which they're frustrated with and they want her to do more of, isn't there?
There is, but I have a question for you. How long was that second round? We lost the clock at some point in that round, and the round was jumping from one number to the next, and it wasn't running the way that it wasn't counting down the way that it should have. We could have had a round that was much longer than just 3 minutes, and so what did that take out of the tank of both of those boxes? We'll see here now.
It's a potential, isn't it? It's a potential, but here we go. We've got the clock back in round 3, the third and final round. It's all to play for, and when it is all to play for, that's when you get the best boxing. That's when you get the best action from both fighters, both boxers. And look at Vasan go. She just lunges in again. She feints with that jab, leads with it, and then lands that right hand, and again another one on the ropes. And Blaszkova, I've got to say, is looking pretty knackered now. Pretty tired, but she still lunges forward herself and just using everything in her body, all her movement to try and get those shots off.
Well, I think that's the formula for her to win this contest. She needs to be the aggressor and take that tool out of the bag of Wasan. That's when Wasan was having success, when she was coming forward and she was applying the pressure, and Blaszkova is trying to take that weapon away from her. It worked well in the second round, and now she's trying to do it here in the third.
And those big 1-2s which Blaszkova is throwing are starting to get found out now, because almost every time that she's throwing it, Vasan is, oh, here we go. We've got another point which is being taken off.
I'm not inside the ring, so I can only see so much. Okay, so the official is taking a point away from both boxers. No harm, no foul there. But you see Wasan now going back to applying the pressure, and Blaszkova backing away. I don't know if that's something that you want the judges to see you do at the critical stages of the third round.
Well, only just over a minute to go. And yet again, the referee is there having a word, and Team India very animated just in front of us, screaming at their fighter, showing her what she needs to do to get that gold medal for India. But again, both fighters come together, and not only is it frustrating the audience and you at home, but it'll be frustrating those two as well, because although they're tired, they both want to box. That's what they're in here for. And another standing 8 count.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen. So what are the last 30 seconds of this bout going to be like now that Blaszkova has been given a standing 8 count?
Well, Blaszkova looks like she clearly just wants to get Vasan off of her, just so she can land some more of those big blows which she's landed over and over again in this contest. And 10 seconds to go. And the referee has been a busy boy in this fight. Probably busier than any of the other bouts, but a couple of seconds to go. And who is going to get that?
I tell you what, going into the third round down on the cards because of a point being taken from you, and I'm not going to discuss the merits of whether or not that was a good decision or not, just only to speak the facts about the situation. Facing that going into the third round, I thought Wasan did a really good job of responding to that. And I tell you what, I like Wasan in that third round. The question is whether or not it is enough. And I feel like there may be just the slightest edge for that red corner.
Do you think they're both worthy winners after that?
This is what you want, to see both boxers clearly give it everything that they have.
Championship bout 7. The winner on points by split decision. In the blue corner from Czech Republic, Stella Blaskova.
You see those scores, ladies and gentlemen. There are more numbers up there than I can figure out, right there, ladies and gentlemen. I think Blaskova, with the victory on the cards, she'll get the gold. Wasan, obviously La Silva, and then we got to get an honorable mention, and let's give something to that official because he was a big part of that decision, in the ring right there.
He was. He was busy, and from the get-go, he made that message clear that he wanted this to be a well-formed, clear, and uninterrupted bout, but that's exactly what we didn't get, was it? And I think that's just a case of those styles make fights, and unfortunately those two coming together, if they fought another 3 times, I think you get exactly the same type of outcome. You probably get the same type of fight, but
right.
Outcome wise, if they fought another couple of times, it could go either way, couldn't it?
It absolutely could, and for me, I think the first thing that I would change about a rematch between those two would be the official inside the ring, and I'd love to see what that would look like just with that alone. And we don't want to blame the official or try to make excuses for anything like that, but if you are Team India, how do you feel about that bout?
They've got to be frustrated, haven't they? They've got to be really frustrated.
They've got to be. They have got to be.
USA, Ireland, and Lithuania. The referee from World Boxing, Waleed Al-Kawi. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Brazil, Gabriel dos Santos.
Gabriel taking a page from Team India's book. There's a lot of distance between him and his coaches.
Ran to the ring. We've seen lots of that. And here comes John Joe Carrigan, who on the amateur scene in terms of his youth career so far, has won pretty much everything you could possibly win. A young man who is extremely dedicated to his craft and to becoming one of the best in the world. And here's another step on that journey. Could he make it 8 gold medals for Team England?
That is an outstanding question. I'm sure you can tell by his body language before he even gets in the ring, he certainly has the confidence to get that gold medal, and I'm sure he expects to do so. Any young man with those socks expects to win.
They are some jazzy socks.
They are.
I'm liking them. I'm liking them a lot. One of the things we've seen from the Brazilians is they've just got this kind of slick, slippery style, and they are not easy fighters to pin down. All different nations, all different countries have got their own styles, haven't they? The Ghanaians box differently to the way that the English do, and the English box in a different way to the Kazakhs do, don't they? It's funny how they've all got these different styles, and that's when the adaptability comes in with the top fighters in this sport.
Well, one of the things that you'll see when you watch the boxers from certain countries, and England being one of them, you can see the stressing of the fundamentals. So you're not going to see a lot of the flash and the flair and the other things like that. Again, we've used the phrase multiple times, meat and potatoes boxers, and they are that. It's the fundamentals. And when you have good fundamentals, you can accomplish a lot of things.
Here we go. There is the sound to symbolise the start of the opening round. Carrigan in blue, representing England, and Dos Santos in red, representing Brazil, who looks really nice and sharp already, nice and light on his feet, but nothing which Carrigan wouldn't have dealt with already, not only in this competition, but in his previous experience in all the years that he's been boxing.
One of the first things that you see when you look at these two boxers, you see how lean and long the reach is for Dos Santos. And we'll see how much of a part that plays in this contest, how much of a part he can make it play in this contest.
Dos Santos is very busy with that left hand, just trying to keep Carrigan at bay at all times. And he has got some long arms, hasn't he? Really long arms. But whether he can get close enough to land anything which is going to be effective. But John Joe Carrigan so far doing a good job of just boxing and keeping out the way of those long shots as they come in a flurry.
Exactly, and if you're Dos Santos, you want to be disciplined. You have the reach, so there's no excuse, for you to get hit first. So he's got to be disciplined. He's got to be patient, but he also needs to be proactive.
These two just still sussing each other out, I get the feeling. And that was a strong straight left hand from Carrigan, which landed in the chest of Dos Santos from Brazil. And Carrigan in that southpaw stance with them long pink socks. Stocks are different things entirely. But that's a good southpaw jab from Carrigan as the two come together, and Carrigan getting frustrated every time that Dos Santos grabs hold of him. But maybe that's a part of the game plan, David. It's just to frustrate him.
Well, it should be. I think I don't want to make the boxing, I don't want to make the action less, inviting or exciting. But if you are Dos Santos, there's no reason for you to have to deal with Carrigan on the inside. So once he gets close, feel free to tie him up and make the official separate him. His advantage should be on the outside. He should be firing, from long range. We don't need to send in an infantry. We can do it with, with airstrikes if you have that kind of reach. And Dos Santos needs to get to that.
He does, and I just feel that John Joe Carrigan is just starting to fit into his groove here. His confidence is coming up. He's looking a lot livelier than he was in the first 30 seconds. And the moment the referee says box on, he is there in a flash and straight on Dos Santos. As we go into the last 10 seconds, it'll be interesting to see how the judges have got this one, because I think this was a round of two halves, and Carrigan is the fighter for me who is finishing this round stronger.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that much of a decision. I'm expecting to see Carrigan ahead on all 5 cards when we get the decision, and there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that Carrigan, he was the more active individual. I thought Dos Santos allowed his punches to be smothered. And one of the things that is just not going to serve Dos Santos well are those wide hooks that he was throwing. There's no reason for him to take the long way home when you have that type of reach. He should be able to make this bout so difficult for Carrigan, or anyone for that matter, because of that length and the reach that he has. And anytime he's not throwing a jab, he's doing himself a disservice. When you have a jab that long, you are truly doing yourself a disservice if you're not throwing.
And he was throwing it very well in the opening minute and a half of the first round. But as I said, towards the end of the first round, I felt that Carrigan had worked out his way in and he'd worked out his opponent. But with the instructions given in each corner from both Team England and Team Brazil, let's see how the first bit of this fight unfolds, or first bit of this round unfolds, sorry.
Carrigan steps in and throws a sneaky short left hook that lands to the head of Dos Santos. And again, now he's going back to the jab. That's what he needs to do. There needs to be a steady diet of jabs being eaten by Carrigan if Dos Santos has a chance here.
This is a bit of a battle of not just the jabs, but it's a bit of a battle of the straight shots. And Dos Santos was throwing a few kind of long hooks at first, but he's not doing as much of that anymore.
He's not, and it's allowing Carrigan to be a little bit more reckless and adventurous, and it's allowing him to take more chances, and he's having success jumping inside, as he does right there, landing the right hand to the head of Dos Santos.
And Dos Santos missing with those wild shots, or at least Carrigan is making those shots look wild because he's there to be hit and then he's gone because he's got good footwork. And look at the way that he just bobbed and weaved out of that corner. That was beautiful boxing from the man from England, John Joe Carrigan.
Well, that's what we were talking about, between rounds are those wide hooks that Dos Santos is throwing, and no one's home for those shots because they take too long to get there. Don't throw these wide shots that take so much time. Throw those straight punches. Throw that jab like he's doing right now. He covers too much ground with that jab, for him to waste his time throwing those wide shots.
And just as you started speaking, Dos Santos turned to his corner and his body language said it all, that he was fed up and frustrated and not happy with something which had happened. But there's no point looking at them. He needs to get on with it in the ring himself. He's got a job to do.
Well, that's exactly what Carrigan is feeling, because he loses his mouthpiece and he doesn't even want to stop the action. He kicks it to the side. He wants to keep going. The official's like, no, let's put it back.
And you love to see it, don't you? Love to see it.
He didn't want to stop. That tells you he likes the way things are going for him right now. Why stop?
Well, yeah, exactly. He doesn't want the flow of the fight to change, the pace of the fight to change, because he is controlling it all, isn't he, really? Other than that distance, because the only thing which he really isn't in control of is that distance, because Dos Santos just keeps getting in there with them long rangy arms of him, wraps him up, which is frustrating, and he's eager to get straight back to business as soon as he can. But you've got to admire the fantastic body and head movement of Carrigan. How many times has Dos Santos thrown shots and Carrigan has just slipped and bobbed and weaved and moved with ease?
Right, he's nowhere to be found for those wide shots that Dos Santos is throwing. And if you are Carrigan, we want to keep it going the same way we are. Look, if the crowd is dancing, there's no need for the DJ to change the song. And so Carrigan is going to keep doing this all the way to the end, to a victory if it keeps like this.
The man with all the one-liners. Always a pleasure to work aside. And with the first round, I thought was a round of two halves, where this one, I'm confident that the judges will give it. There we go.
It is.
All of them once again to the blue corner, and John Joe Carrigan, who just needs to do more of the same. If it ain't broke,
don't fix it. Well, here's the thing for me, Darren, right now. The question that you have for yourself, if you are Team Brazil right now, tell me, Darren, because I'm calling it now. This is going to be a Carrigan win, and they're taking home the gold medal. We could have called it midway the first round. And I don't mean that to sound disrespectful to Team Brazil and Gabriel Dias dos Santos. It's not that at all. But I would ask you, Darren, tell me the one thing that you've seen that is working for Dos Santos that he can do more of, that's going to make him win this bout.
It's only that range, and he's not using it. He's not using it to his advantage. But maybe that's just because John Joe Carrigan just isn't letting him. He really isn't letting him, because he knows all the tricks in the book. And when you've got an established and well-seasoned amateur like him, who's been boxing for such a long time, they've been in there with people like this. He's been in there with those long-rangey fighters, and that was a really good lead right hook thrown from that southpaw stance from the man from England, Carrigan.
Well, and again, you saw Carrigan step in right there and throw a three-punch combination and then back away with nothing in return from Dos Santos. That can't be the way that this bout goes. It just cannot. And with open scoring, knowing where you are in this contest, going into these final three rounds, I want to see more fire from that Brazilian boxer.
Me too. And if you're just joining us, you're joining us for a bit of a shutout performance from John Joe Carrigan of England, who's fighting Gabriel Dos Santos from Brazil in the under-19 men's 70-kilogram final. And here we are in the third round, as you can see, and in just a minute of 50 seconds, Carrigan will win the 8th gold medal for Team England. All he's got to do is just carry on doing exactly what he's been doing for the two previous rounds and what he's done so far in this round, as he just nice and relaxed, just moves around, and once again, we got a bit of showboat in there as he looks out to the crowd and sees where that punch went, because it certainly didn't land, did it?
Well, you know, he's got it in cruise control right now. He's not in danger of anything, right? You don't necessarily want to see boxers showboat or take their opponents lightly or anything like that. But the truth is, there hasn't been anything that Dos Santos has landed in this contest that has given Team Carrigan any pause. Right? What has he given them to think about? What has he given them, you know, to avoid? What concern have they put on the mind of that blue corner and Team England? Nothing. So Carrigan feels the way he should right now, as if he's being dominant and that he's less than a minute from being a gold medalist.
And it seems that Dos Santos had run out of ideas within 90 seconds of the first round.
Right.
And he hasn't come up with any new ones. And the one advantage which he has clearly got is that range and keeping him at distance, and he has not been able to pull that off. And as we go into the final 30 seconds here, Carrigan really looking like he's enjoying himself, and you can tell that by the spring in his step as he just bounces around. And how can you miss those legs with those pink socks and those very fancy Nike boxing boots?
More. Liking them even more now than I did.
You'll never forget them. And Carrigan is just moments away from winning the 70-kilogram World Championship and being a gold medalist, and the 8th gold medalist for England.
Try not to sound so excited there.
The 8th gold medal.
You got to feel good about that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I am American born and raised, and so I absolutely enjoy watching Team USA boxers have success at any point, on any level, in any competition. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Of course, you are enjoying watching your countrymen come here and do well in this tournament and doing, you know, if we're counting gold medals, doing something that we now know no one else can do. There aren't enough bouts left for anyone to win as many medals as Team England has. You got to feel good. It's okay. Let me hear some of the English pride. Let me hear.
Well, I'll tell you in a second about my quick chat with the CEO of England Boxing, just in a moment.
The winner on points by unanimous decision in the blue corner from England, Joe Carrigan.
Well, there it is, confirmed and official, the 8th gold medal for Team England. And yesterday, I was just having a really quick chat while the medal ceremony was just being set up, or was at a pause, with the CEO of England Boxing, and I said to him, "You've done all right today." I said, I tell you what I said, "You've cleaned up today," and he gave me the most English response ever. And he didn't get too excited, because English people don't really get so excited. And he went, "Yeah, we've done all right." All right. They've knocked it out of the park.
They have absolutely knocked it out of the park. I don't know what the phrase is that you would use for cricket. So I don't know that, you know, what would I say if we were talking about cricket?
Knocked it for 6.
Knocked it for 6.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
We're learning a lot from each other this week,
I'm
aren't
adding that
we?
one to my bag. You know, we knocked it for 6. And they've done that. Actually, they've knocked it for 8, which is even better, ladies and gentlemen. How about that?
With 2 bouts to go. And our next one, and 2 Indians to go as well.
Absolutely. 2 bouts left on the schedule for today, ladies and gentlemen. You know, obviously you want to thank everyone who's been around and taken part in this event, and that have taken the time out of their busy schedules, you know, to watch and support us. And we have 2 bouts left in the second day of our championships, and both of these bouts will feature a boxer from India. And so even with the losses, if we want to call them that, we still have a point where they can finish with 2 gold medals here in this tournament. That's just incredible for that still be on the table.
Is scheduled in the female 80+ kilogram division. The judges from Australia, World Boxing, Japan, Ireland, and Poland. The referee from Canada, Jennifer Huggins. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from Germany, Victoria Graz.
But this one in the women's 80+ kilogram category. And there will be some big shots thrown here. There will be some leather knocking about in that boxing ring, we can tell you that for certain.
There will be, and I like the energy from Goswami as she was coming to the ring. And if the way she looked walking to the ring is any indication of what her intentions are once she gets in there, you're going to see some fireworks out of that blue corner.
Victoria Gatt representing Germany in the penultimate bout of, I was going to say of today, but of the whole championships, and the week has gone so quickly. And it has been so enjoyable to be about, especially as somebody who just loves to sit there and watch boxing, and even better when you can sit here and talk about it at the same time. Absolutely.
And you see Victoria Gatt in that red corner, ladies and gentlemen. And as you saw her, walk to the ring, very businesslike. You saw the look on her face, serious, like she knows what she's here to do. And as you see it in the stare down right now on your screen, I look forward to what I believe to be a lot of action here in just a moment when this bell rings.
Well, here we go. Gatt representing Germany in the red, and Goswami representing India in the blue in this under-19 women's 80+ kilogram category.
You can already see the contrast where you see Gatt trying to work behind the jab and make things happen that way a little bit more from the outside. And again, Goswami trying to get inside and throw those big shots as she takes a big right hand from Gatt trying to come forward. You already see those styles, how they're going to come together in this contest.
Indeed, and Gatt's not necessarily boxing on the back foot, although she is slightly on the back foot, but she's standing her ground and kind of waiting for Goswami to come in. And as she does, that's where she's trying to land those counter punches, and she's doing a good job of it. She's popping that jab out, and the right hand's getting through, and it's landed. And it's just jolting the head back of Goswami ever so slightly. So she probably just needs to be careful on that defense and improve that ever so slightly to match her opponent here.
Well, Gatt is doing a nice job of keeping that right hand locked and loaded, and so she's ready to fire it when Goswami gets in range. And she's doing a pretty good job of catching Goswami coming forward. But Goswami is doing an all right job of scoring when she gets inside, like she did with that right hand there. So good things from both boxers to begin this bout. We'll see who can capitalize and build on what they've started.
And I feel like Goswami is telegraphing that right hand a little bit. It's becoming a bit easy to read for Gatt, because every time she throws it, she can see it coming, and she's got enough time to do something about it. And that was a technically well-timed 1-2, and she follows it up with 3 straight shots, does the fighter from Germany, Victoria Gatt. Gatt just on that front foot, just keeping busy, always doing something, whether it's throwing her hands, feinting, moving her body, constantly giving Goswami something to think about at all times. And the timing of Gatt is exactly what she intends to do and what she's doing, because she's throwing those shots and then just steps out enough to not be caught herself. And because of the telegraphing, and because Goswami hasn't got as much speed, she's not getting caught.
Well, what you see now in this contest, that right hand that she's letting go, that is Gatt and that team from Germany, she's starting to turn the head of Goswami with that right hand. Something that definitely gets the attention of the judges at ringside.
Well, a little bit of better work to have finished around there from Goswami, but in my opinion, that is a Victoria Gatt round. What are you saying, David?
I would say so as well, but I do like the way Goswami finished that round. We know Gatt found herself with her back along the ropes. Goswami doing some of her best work, but not enough. It's too little too late, because Victoria Gatt had a pretty nice lead in that first round, and those scores reflected 10-9 on each of the 5 cards at ringside. So off to a great start is Team Germany in the form of Victoria Gatt. Now, if you're Team India and you're talking about Goswami, again, India in this contest, so many times they've been in the ring, yesterday and today on the final 2 days of this tournament, trying to win gold medals, coming up short, all but the one time. And so Goswami with an opportunity, you know, to get a gold medal for Team India. So you know she wants to do that. But at the same time, Gat is doing a really good job of making her pay for coming forward. And so Goswami is going to have to do a little bit more than just walk forward if she's going to have some success against Gat.
Couldn't have put it any better myself. Goswami's got to stop walking forward in those straight lines, because every time she walks forward in a straight line, she gets countered with either with a jab or a 1-2 straight down the middle, and she walks into him. And already you can see that she's starting to go round to her left, so that might be the information which Team India had given her in between rounds there. And Victoria Gat on the back foot, she just pops that jab out and nicely just turns out of danger. But Goswami has got some urgency about her. She knows she's down on the scorecards as she just digs deep into the canvas with her toes and just throws those shots which are unforgiving every single time.
Goswami threw a right hand to the body of Gat, maybe one of the first body punches that I've noticed in this contest from her. Just hunting, head hunting upstairs, and in doing so, she's allowing herself to be countered to the head as well. Gat doing a good job of picking up where she left off in round one.
The amount of times that Gat has landed that 1-2 and landed it really clean, I am quite surprised that we haven't seen a standing 8 count so far, but there's still time in this round for that to happen. But here comes Goswami. Every time that you ever so slightly write her off, not that we have at any moment or said that Gat's doing the better work, it's like she's heard us, because she comes out of the woodwork and goes for it again as she leans to her left and follows through with that right hand, which just hits the helmet of the woman from Germany.
Both boxers looking like they're slowing down just a little bit there.
And it goes back to that point which we made earlier on about these heavier fighters and the amount of energy which they use when they're throwing these shots, especially when they miss, which was a point which you picked up on earlier on. But there's a lot of energy being used up here, both of them giving it their all.
And there's the standing 8 count that you were talking about, but this actually being given to Gat. I suspected that she would have gotten one earlier the way she was turning ahead of Goswami. It didn't happen, but here you get the first standing 8 count in this contest, and it's given to Gat, and now Goswami feeling pretty good about her chances.
She is, but as that count was happening, you didn't see it on the screen for those watching at home, but Goswami was in a corner, just leaning over, almost touching her toes, looking absolutely exhausted. But here comes Gat and comes back Goswami as we come to another break. The referee again has had to be busy and give a fair amount of advice and how she wants, and tell the fighters how she wants it to go. But Gat again comes forward, but every time she does, it seems to urge Goswami on.
Easily the best work of the bout so far in that second round for Goswami, and I like the way she looked in that round. And you know what? I would expect to see, and there it is, you know, I would expect to see Goswami get the clean sweep, and that's what she got right there. You know, it took me a moment. I got confused. You know, I was so right that I confused myself. But
no change there then.
But she earned that. I mean, even without the standing 8 count, I believe that Goswami did enough to win that round. She was scoring to the head, you know, of Gat. I thought she did a good job of picking up the pressure. Let's not forget that Gat is still hitting her as she's coming forward. But what Goswami decided to do is to take that punch and get inside and then do the work that she wants to do. So she spent her money wisely, you know, in that exchange.
Another saying going in the vocabulary commentary bank is Victoria Gat of Germany comes out but then gets caught with a straight and another standing 8 count. She did get caught cleanly with that straight 1-2 from Goswami, who must be feeling pretty confident now, and she digs in and throws another flurry of straight shots, bites down on her gum shield, takes a big deeper breath, and she knocks back the head of Victoria Gat again. And how this fight has turned around from just a few minutes ago.
You look at the official, she's thinking about stopping this thing.
And can Gat get herself back into the fight? At the moment, she's just becoming a bit of a punching bag, which she hasn't been throughout this fight. So not only is she exhausted, but a lot of those punches got through, which is why the official felt the need to give the standing 8 count, and there's a good chance that the official could stop this.
Goswami's got to be thinking, what does it take for me to get another standing 8 count?
And Gat looks like she's running on fumes as she just throws whatever she can, whatever energy she's got left back. But she's standing still, those feet which were on the balls of her feet. She's now flat-footed and just stumbling around the ring. Exhausted, which is completely understandable, but how many shots has Goswami got to land?
You know Team India, and there it is. I couldn't even get it out. I was going to say, you know Team India is yelling for that stoppage, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. And you're talking about getting that gold medal. Team India coming up a little bit short. To get the gold medal with a stoppage, that almost erases everything right there, Dan.
It was a good turnaround, wasn't it?
It absolutely was.
And did you expect to see that sort of turnaround? Because Gat was doing so much good work. She was doing so much good stuff. And she was the busier fighter. She was the more accurate fighter. She was the more efficient fighter. But there was a moment in that fight where Goswami thought, nah, I'm not having this. I'm turning it around.
So, but here's the thing. For Goswami, this is the same bout that it is every time she's in the ring. So this isn't different for her. So it wasn't a question of the work that Gat was doing.
The referee stops the contest. The winner by RSC in the blue corner from India, Chicago.
As you see, the score is all even. But here's the thing. This is what it was always going to be. The only questions were whether or not Goswami was going to stop Gat, or if Goswami was going to run out of time and Victoria Gat was going to win. That's what it was always going to be. You know, Gat, like you said, she was the more accurate boxer. You know, she was throwing the jab, countering
miss
well.
With that 1-2 at one point, could she?
Absolutely, but that was never going to decide this because Goswami was going to either stop her or lose on points, and those were the only options. And Goswami had enough time to get it done. It was beautiful. That's exactly what it was. It's no different from the bout that we talked about earlier, the one that may have seemed controversial, that we were talking about, the decision that I said that I agree with when we were talking about Kosherbai and McConnell, right? It's the same thing.
The Australian, yeah.
You know, it's the same thing. Kosherbai ran out of time. That's all it was. And in this bout, you know, she did not. Goswami did not, and I think that was awesome. That was incredible.
Victoria Gat, I think she will kick herself when she watches it back, but you've only got a certain engine,
right.
And it's how fit you are and how lively you are in that ring at that time. And
Boxing fans, championship bout.
And that was it.
Is scheduled in the male 90-kilogram division. The judges from Brazil, Japan, Colombia, Chinese Thailand, and Ireland. The referee from Lithuania, Ginteris Shushta. And now we introduce the boxers. In the red corner, from USA, Rashawn Sims.
See the difference?
a very calm young man, you can tell that.
Smile on his face. You saw the acknowledgement, you know, the higher power, right, on the way. Just a different guy.
From India, Hibit Saban.
But this is it. This is the last bout for this first ever World Boxing Under-19 World Championships. What a week it's been. So much talent, so many great fights, so many memories, not only for us, but for everyone involved.
For everyone.
This is the movement. This is what it's about getting Olympic boxing back on track. We can't lose that. We cannot lose that as a sport.
Absolutely not. I can't imagine the Olympics being held in the U.S. and that boxing not being a part of it.
It can't happen.
I can't imagine that. Now, when you talk about pressure, self-imposed or otherwise, how much pressure is there on Sangwan coming into this ring, that same ring that we just saw Goswami go in there and gut out an incredible performance and get a stoppage? How much pressure is on him to come out and duplicate that performance, that effort, and go out and get a gold medal?
A lot, and especially against a USA boxer in the USA as well.
Absolutely. So you're in the ring with a Rashawn Sims, and this is a guy in his home country, so the crowd's going to be behind him. They're looking to see him do something special. So with all of that in mind, how large are the odds against against Sangwan? Although I love the activity in his corner right now.
Sangwan was just showing us how much energy he's got there, just fist pumping all three of the corner team, but we are off, and both fighters take to the centre of the ring. Rashawn Sims in the red, and you can already hear those USA, your favourite.
I told you we were gonna, we're going to, Sangwan is, he's on the road, right? This is not a home crowd. He has traveled a long way to be here and to finish this event, this tournament, to be in the ring with an American boxer, with so much on the line. That's got to be a lot of pressure, but a good right hand by Sangwan.
And a confident boxer in Sangwan, who just threw a very nicely timed 1-2, and I think both of those shots got through, and then danced around, and he's enjoying himself.
He is early on in this contest, and he should. He's accomplished a lot to be here on this final day. And he's a part of a team that has done so well.
And Sangwan of India, who has got a little bit of a height advantage, it looks like, from here. Not much, but it looks like he has got a bit of an advantage, and that was a big, strong overhand right from the man from India. And Rashawn Sims has got his hands full.
He does, and that right hand from Sangwan came after a nice right hand from Sims. So it'll be interesting to see which of those boxers can duplicate that success and make something happen.
Sims goes to the body, lunges in with that jab to the body again, and scores with it. And is just getting his time and his distance right as Sangwan goes forward, loops over that right hand, but it misses Sims, and both of them doing some solid work here. Sims throws a really good left hook. It's just about getting some work off of that left hook once he's landed it.
I think these are the moments where Sims can do his best work, is when he gets inside and they come together right there. I think he needs to keep working. Don't allow the official to break up the action while you're there. Let's go to work. He should be attempting to maul Sangwan in those moments right there. Sangwan with a bit of a height reach advantage. He's doing a pretty good job of utilizing it. So when Sims gets inside, he needs to make hay.
He does, and the noise has gone up in here, and I'm sure you can hear it as Sims just lands another good 1-2 and follows it up with a jab, but he's staying busy as he just works his way around counterclockwise, popping that jab out. And I think that's probably a fairly challenging round to score, but let's see what the judges have got to say about that.
It depends on what you like, but I'm expecting to see some disagreements on these scorecards when we see them, but maybe not. I thought that there would be a couple. I like what Rashawn Sims was able to do in that first round. I thought Sangwan did some good things as well. I'm a little surprised that no one at ringside gave the nod to the blue corner in India. But if you're Rashawn Sims and Team USA, you certainly like those scores, obviously. And you also have to like what started to happen in the latter stages of that round, where Sims seemed to be able to throw his jab and get inside and let go of that right and left hook once he got in there. So he was able to make some good things happen as the round went along. Now comes the real challenge, the adjustments that are going to be suggested and instructed by your corner, and if you can implement those while at the same time preventing your opponent from doing the same, we'll learn a lot here in the first 20 seconds of this next round.
I agree. I think it could have gone to either person, in either fighter in that last round. So the fact that nobody ringside had given it to Sangwan of India was surprising, but there we go. Sims up on the scorecards as we go into the first 15 seconds of this second round and the last bout of this World Championships, the 90-kilogram gold medal bout. Sims busy with that jab, doing exactly what he needs to do with it.
Good right hand by Sangwan as he stepped away from Sims. I think Sangwan needs to start his attack from the outside. Don't allow Sims to come in and be first.
And as you were saying that, he was doing that a lot better, and he just come back with a strong right hand there. And that one must have been felt in the boots of Sims as the two of them manhandle each other just above our commentary position here in the convention centre.
I think that's the formula for Sangwan. If he's going to make something happen in this contest, he needs to be first. He has that reach.
That is what this fight is becoming, is who can fire first, isn't it? It's about winning those exchanges every single time. And there we go. Sims won that exchange. The two become tied up again.
And I know I don't want to promote and encourage all the holding and the wrestling, but one of the things that Sims may need to do when they have those moments where they come together, he may need to pick up the pace a little bit in terms of I don't necessarily want him to wrestle with Sangwan and turn it into something else, but you don't want to stand there and be manhandled by the real opponent either.
No, that's a bit of a confidence breaker or damager, that is, if you're being manhandled and you feel that your opponent is stronger, but it's getting messy in there with elbows and forearms going into the face.
Right, and Sangwan almost with the hammer fist, almost MMA style, almost to the head of Sims, as like you said, it's getting a bit messy inside of there right now.
It is, but Sims just nicely turned his body over and turned his shoulder over as he landed a right hand, a shot which he throws so lovely. And 30 seconds to go.
The boxing, hasn't been very clean. But one of the things that could count against Sangwan could be if the judges at ringside hold him responsible for the way this looks.
Sangwan just threw a lethal, big, lunging right hand just before the referee got involved and throws another one there, and Sims doesn't seem to be too affected by these, even with the ones that do land.
Now the scoring for the second round may be a little bit more interesting, and there you see it right there. It is absolutely more interesting. Only one judge at ringside gives that second round to Rashawn Sims in that red corner from Team USA. The other 4 of the 5 give it to the blue corner, and I like what Sangwan was able to do in that second round. And again, he was responsible for how ugly some of that boxing became. But he continued to work when they were, when they're in the clinch and on the ropes. He's still throwing punches and punches to the head of Sims. And even if Sims thinks that those punches may not be good punches, maybe he thinks that they're to the back of the head. Maybe he thinks the officials should break them up. What's happening is that Sangwan is being more active and he's doing more work and is showing up on the scorecards. And Rashawn Sims is going to need to match that energy in whatever form Sangwan wants to do it.
He is, and this really is anyone's fight. Not only is this the final round of this bout, it's the final round of the tournament. And both men meet in the middle and start wrestling each other once again, but at least there's some work. And look at Sangwan from India go, but the referee just having a chat with him about that. I don't know if you caught what was wrong there. It looked like he was doing some good work to me.
It did, and then he cautioned Sims about holding, and I didn't understand that part at all.
And that was a thumping right hand from Sangwan from India once again. That shot over and over again.
Right.
He's landing it, he's throwing it constantly. And Sims just needs to get his head off the line.
He does. And Sims needs to, in those moments, in those clinches, in those situations where they come together, he needs to start dishing out some of that punishment too.
Well, the crowd are very much emotionally involved in this one now. It's the noisiest, it's the loudest it's been in here, and you can sense the emotion and the feelings from those who surround this venue and watching their countryman, Rashawn Sims, as we go into the last half of the fight.
What's happening? Oh, okay, standing 8 count being given to Sims.
I'm a bit confused about that, and Sims looks confused himself, doesn't he? Because what's happened here?
They lost the mouthpiece, so they're going to rinse it off
and
give it back to Sims. I don't know if I saw anything that in my opinion, raised to the level of a standing 8 count, but it's been administered. There's nothing we can do about that now, and so Sims needs to pick up his output.
And there it is, as the two of them fly at each other.
And he's telling Sims, about the wrestling. I don't know why that's the case that he's telling Sims. And see, these are the moments where Sims needs to be more active. This is where, in my opinion, he's lost, the last round. In Sangwon just being more active. I don't like the way it looks, and it shouldn't be the way that it has to be done. But if the official is going to allow it, then you need to understand that that's what it is.
And Sims could do with pushing his man off and getting some shots off as he does it, scoring some eye-catching stuff. And Sims looks back at his coaching team for that final bit of advice as we go into the last 20 seconds of this bout. Who will win this round? Who will go on to win the gold medal? And look at Sims go. And the same with Sang Van. And that was a really lethal left hook from Sims. Both of them working the hardest they may have ever worked in their boxing journey so far.
And Sims picked a good time to land maybe his best 2 punches of the bout.
What's your gut feeling, David?
Well, I tell you, based on what I saw from the scores in that second round, and then you get the standing 8 count being administered to Sims, I got to tell you, I feel as if that India is going to come away with another gold medal here.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment. I don't know if either boxer really looks confident, and you can understand why. There's been many a bout today and yesterday and all through the week where one fighter has looked a lot more happy and confident than the other, but these two aren't quite sure how this one is going to unfold.
I mean, it's a tough bout to score just because of the styles, the way they came together in this contest, and there was a lot of wrestling and holding, and the official seem to hold both boxers equally accountable for that. And I don't know if that's accurate or correct. We just know that that's what it was. And I would have loved to seen Sims be more active in those moments because his opponent was getting away with it. So he was creating a bit of an advantage for himself, as you can tell by the scores of that second round, that you and I certainly didn't expect to have that distance. We'll see what they have to say.
Bout 10, the winner on points by split decision. In the blue corner from India,
Well, there we go. It's a split decision, and it goes to the blue corner. It goes to Team India. Another gold for them. And Sims will obviously be disappointed there.
Obviously. Well, first I'd like to assure all of the viewers that are joining us around the world that I try to only use my powers for good. Let me just start there. But, it was a tough bout to score. I thought the boxer from India, whether we agree with the style that he was employing or not, the point is he was making the bout. He controlled the way the bout looked and the way the bout went. And though it could have been officiated in a bit of a different fashion, The fact is, that's what it is. So it doesn't matter, if the umpire is calling it, calling this, if there's a ball that is actually below the strike zone that the umpire is calling a strike, that doesn't make it right, but it does make it a strike. So now when I go to the plate, I need to understand that, and I need to adjust the way I'm going to approach this at bat. So we can have a discussion about the umpire and about the official, at the appropriate time. But during this thing, that's a strike. I need to hit it. And that's not what Rashawn Sims did in this contest.
What do you think he learned from that fight?
Well, that's an excellent question, actually.
Thank you very much. I got more of it.
And what I would hope is what he learned is what we just talked about, is that all officiating isn't the same. And I'm not sitting here saying that the officiating was bad. I'm just saying that everyone is different. And he didn't adjust his game plan to the things that were happening inside of the ring. You could see that he became a bit frustrated with what was happening. And that frustration didn't serve him well. And so that is something that if he gets an opportunity to do it again, that's something that he may want to think about, not allowing yourself to get frustrated and take yourself out of your game plan, because game plans go out of the window when you're in there with someone like that and you see that type of style being employed, and then the official kind of letting it go. You need to adjust. Now I need to do it. It's part of the game, and he didn't adjust to it at that time, and we'll see. Hopefully he does learn from that and get better from it.
There's always learning to do from these bouts, and it doesn't matter if it's a big competition like this or whether it's sparring or whatever it is. There is always learning to do, and the great fighters, they learn and then they take it away and then they improve on it and they put it into action, and that's always a good thing to see. Now, I asked you earlier on when we went to the medal ceremony about the bouts that we'd seen, what you liked. I'm going to ask you the same question again about the 5 which we've just seen. Now, my favourite was the Cooper McConnell fight.
Absolutely.
Am I reading your mind?
You are. Why was it your favorite?
It was just a fight where both fighters had to dig deep. They probably had to go to places which they haven't before.
Right.
And it was a really well-matched fight with explosiveness, with really good technical ability, and everything as a boxing fan, never mind somebody who works in the sport, wants to see. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. And you saw what Cooper McConnell was able to do, just to do everything within his power to hang on just enough to get that victory. I mean, he truly had to crawl across the finish line to stay ahead of Kosherbai. And Kosherbai, understandably, I won't say upset, but emotional, because you can see that he poured it all out in the ring in that moment, and to hear and not to hear his name called at the end was tough for him, and I can appreciate that. I'm not saying that I want him to feel bad, but I want him to have that emotion. I want him to feel as though, I can get this. I should have gotten it. And you know what that means? I'll get it next time. And that's what you want from your competitors in any sport, in anything. If I'm going for a job interview and I don't get it, hey, I'm going to get the next one. I was the best guy, in that waiting room, and I'll be the best guy in the next one. So it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Spelling bees, it doesn't matter. And I love what I got out of that bout from both of those boxers, and I think both of those boxers learned a lot about themselves as well.
You have to have that mindset to go far in this sport. Well, in any sport, but boxing is obviously such an individual sport, and you have to have that mindset. And I might sound like I'm being biased now, and I'm genuinely not. But another fighter who really impressed me was England's John Joe Carrigan, because there were moments in the first half of the first round where he looked like he had quite a lot of working out to do, and he quickly overcame that. And then by the end of the second round and the third round, you said it, he's in cruise control. And he was thoroughly enjoying himself to the point where he felt comfortable enough to do a bit of showboating.
It's a situation where you have a person that wins a race by so much that you don't believe that they actually started from the same point. And that's what that was. Where they finished that contest by the end of that third round, it's tough to believe that they walked into that ring with both of those individuals with an opportunity to win a gold medal, because it didn't seem like that's why they were both there by the time we got to the middle of the second round. And so I would agree with you in terms of what he was able to do. John Joe Carrigan, just really showed the difference between him and Dos Santos in that contest. It wasn't even close.
It was excellent. Now, before we go over to the awards, the medal ceremony, just in a few words, how would you sum up this week?
A successful Right? I can sum it up in one word. It was successful. I think the world of boxing got what they wanted from this event. I think World Boxing did a nice job of showing the world what their intentions are for having the quality of boxing that the world deserves, the quality of amateur boxing on an international stage that the world deserves. And what you saw this week was fair. And I think if you can say that, that's as much as you need to say. When you have situations where you have boxers like a Rashawn Sims right now in the host country, in a close bout, where he did not get the victory. Look at Emmanuel Chance and the loss that he took today from Kumamoto. That's not something that you generally see from a host country with one of their best boxers. I mean, I said it, Kumamoto, in getting his gold medal, beat the toughest opposition. Maybe the most accomplished boxer that didn't win in these final bouts. That's not something that you see happen in other places. And so for World Boxing to accomplish that here in the U.S. along with USA Boxing, I think successful is the only way you can describe what we've seen this week.
That is the message. Well, there's a congress tomorrow, the World Boxing Congress, which will be streamed live where you're watching this now. So if that is something of interest to you, then you can go and watch that. Thank you so much to everybody who has tuned in and watched the boxers and supported and sent their good messages to everybody involved. Without people coming along to these events and watching them and being positive about it, they wouldn't be what they are. And of course, well done and thank you to all of the participants, because without them, we wouldn't have anything to watch. That's all from us now. So please stick around for the medal ceremony, and hopefully we'll catch you next time.
All right, boxing fans. It is time to present the medals to our 2024 World Boxing U19 Championship medalists. And first, we're going to have up our male 65-kilogram medalists. And here to present the awards is the Vice President of World Boxing and President of Boxing Canada, Ryan O'Shea.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out and supporting the Youth World Championships this year. I really want to thank USA Boxing for hosting this year's World Championships, and thank you to all the national federations who came out to Colorado this week to support this event. Lastly, and most importantly, congratulations to all the Youth World Champions and medalists. Congratulations.
And our bronze medalist from Wales, Milwyn Lloyd. And bronze medalist from Ukraine, Maxim Nijinsky. The male 65-kilogram silver medalist from Kazakhstan, Asylkam Kosherbay. And ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 male 65-kilogram gold medalist from Australia, Cooper McConnell. Congratulations, gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to present the medals to the female 80-kilogram division. And here to present is the technical director of the Nigerian Boxing Federation, Femi Oladiwaji.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We Africans, we are proud of world boxing because boxing has given us a pathway and has given us a hope and has given our youth hope for the Olympics. So we really appreciate the world boxing team. You are doing a great job and we still look forward to you guys.
Femi Oladiwaju. And presenting now the silver medal from India, Kritika Vasan. And ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 World Boxing Under-19 Female 80-kilogram gold medalist from Czech Republic, Stella Blašková. Please rise for the national anthem. Congratulations, ladies. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the medals to the male 70-kilogram division. And here to present is the president Brito.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank World Boxing for the competition. We really need this kind of competition. And I want to thank USA Boxing for the kind of reception for all of us. I want to say that for most part of the boxers, their career begins in Olympic program of their countries. For them, world boxing is a whole. For us, world boxing is a reality. We will guarantee for you all that the world boxing will turn this whole in reality. Congratulations for all of you. Congratulations for you guys.
And our 70-kilogram bronze medalist from India, Sumit. And bronze medalist from Australia, Dianshu Reddu. And the silver medalist from Brazil, Gabriel dos Santos. And boxing fans, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 male 70-kilogram gold medalist from England, John Joe Kerrigan. Please rise for the national anthem. And now we present the medals for the female 80-kilogram division. And here to present the medals, the president of World Boxing, Boris Vandervoort.
Yes, the World Boxing Championships here in Pueblo are coming to an end. Thank you, Mike, and your team for doing a great job here in organization. Also, a big round of applause for the officials for fair officiating. Thank you. And then you, boxers, you gave color with your participation for these championships. Thank you very much. And hopefully you have learned a lot if you have lost. And congratulations with your victory. All the best.
The 80+ kilogram silver medalist goes to, from Germany, Victoria Gott. And the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 female 80+ kilogram gold medalist from India, Vanshika Goswami. And please rise for the national anthem. Congratulations, ladies. And now we present the awards to the male 90-kilogram division. Here to present the medals, the president of USA Boxing, Tyson Lee.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone who came out and supported this event. You know, we're at a point in boxing to where we're just getting, you know, we're fighting to stay in the Olympics, and we're doing all these things to keep boxing Olympic, and we can't do it without this kind of support. And all the way from our staff and president, administration of World Boxing, to all the volunteers, members of all the different national federations that came here from all around the world. So I want to thank you guys for making that journey. I also want to thank the city of Pueblo for always just welcoming us with open arms and just doing just a first-class event here. And so on behalf of our staff and our board of directors and just all our members at USA Boxing, just want to just say thank you to everyone for helping to make this successful and doing all the things we need to keep boxing in the Olympic Games. All right. But most importantly, I want to thank these athletes who have just put it on the line all week. You guys have just been excellent. The competition's been great. Every decision didn't go the way you wanted it to. That's boxing, you know. But at the end of the day, we just had a first-class event with first-class athletes, coaches, and just thank everybody for everything that you've done. So now, let's do what we came here for. These gentlemen up here, let's go.
And our male 90-kilogram bronze medalists from Republic of Korea, Park Sang-in. And bronze medalist from New Zealand, Novak Tomokino. And the silver medalist from USA, Rashawn Sims. And ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 World Boxing Under 19 Male 90-kilogram gold medalist from India, Hemant Sanghan. And if we will all rise for the national anthem of India. Congratulations, gentlemen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the inaugural 2024 World Boxing Under 19 Championships right here in Pueblo, Colorado, USA. Thank you to everyone who tuned in from all around the world. Thank you to all of our boxers and coaches who came from all around the world. We had an awesome time, and we'll see you again soon.